Chapter 2130. Before you came looking for me, I had a few exchanges with Palace Lord Jean. Seeing that Qian Yulong and the others were puzzled, Mo Qingyun knew what they were thinking. He turned to look at Jean Rena. Because Palace Lord Jean let me hit him, I won by half a move and accidentally hurt him. Hearing Mo Qingyun's words, Qian Yulong and the others had complicated expressions. They looked at Jean Renha with sympathy. With the intelligence of Qian Yulong and the others, they could naturally guess that Jean Renha must have been taught a lesson. Otherwise, with his domineering personality, how could he submit so obediently? This is because Master is powerful. I'm just a clown, showing off in front of Master. Jean Renha was also sensible. Seeing that he had submitted to Mo Qingyun, he immediately spoke to please Mo Qingyun. Of course, what he said was also the truth. His previous actions were indeed like a clown. This matter is over. Don't mention it again. Spreading his hands at Jean Renha, Mo Qingyun changed the topic. He sternly reminded Jean Renha, regarding the matter of jinxing Palace submitting to me, don't leak it for the time being. I don't want people to know that half of Qinyu City is already under my control. Yes. Hearing Mo Qingyun's instructions, Jean Renha immediately responded. He didn't dare to have the slightest objection. Next, Mo Qingyun gave everyone a few more instructions, and he left Jinxing Palace. As for the management of Qinyu City, he handed it over to Qian Yulong and the others, and let the two forces divide it among themselves. Now that they were in alliance, there was no conflict of interests. The discussion would be much smoother. Only Heavenly Mandate Tower and Blood Corpse Demon Sect left. Coming out of Jinxing Palace, Missouri Qingyun's heart skipped a beat. He was thinking about what to do next. Mo Qingyun said to himself. He didn't stay and rushed directly to the Treasure Pavilion. When Mo Qingyun left the Gold Punishment Palace, the news of him repelling the people of the Gold Punishment Palace and making the thousand-language manor respectful spread throughout the thousand-language city. All of a sudden, the rumors of Mo Qingyun being a coward were dispelled. Inside the meeting hall of the Bloodsword sect, I didn't expect this Mo Qingyun to have such terrifying battle strength. Due to his hatred for Mo Qingyun, Chen Huangyi paid close attention to Mo Qingyun's actions. Therefore, as soon as Mo Qingyun's rumor spread, Chen Huangyi received it immediately. Guardian Tian, it's fortunate that you reminded me. Otherwise, I would have been forced into a passive position. Recalling how strong Mo Qingyun was, Chen Huangyi's face was filled with fear as he thanked Teng Sha. In his opinion, if he rashly dealt with Mo Qingyun, he would only put himself in danger. Headmaster, you're too polite. It's my duty to think for you. Hearing Chen Huangyi's gratitude, Teng Sha smiled coldly and shook his head. He said, as for the ally to deal with Mo Qingyun, I've already found a suitable candidate. You just have to wait and see. You've made progress so quickly? Chen Huangyi's face lit up. His face was filled with anticipation and curiosity. He asked, I wonder which power is the person helping us? Is it the Heavenly Mandate Pavilion or the Blood Corpse Demon Sect? Neither. Teng Sha shook his head and denied Chen Huangyi's guess. He said, the ally I found is much stronger than the Heavenly Mandate Pavilion and the Blood Corpse Demon Sect. Don't worry, with their help, Mo Qingyun will definitely die without a burial place. If that's the case, I'll wait and see. Hearing Teng Sha's words, Chen Huangyi smiled coldly. The anticipation in his heart grew even stronger. Next, Chen Huangyi and Teng Sha discussed the details of how to deal with Mo Qingyun. From their point of view, Mo Qingyun was strong and had many tricks up his sleeve. They could not be careless when dealing with him. Once they failed, there would not be a second chance. They would never be able to avenge Chun Lin and Yi Lingqin. Half an hour later, Mo Qingyun came to the Treasure Pavilion. He walked directly into the inner hall of the Treasure Pavilion and saw Zheng Ping and the others with serious expressions. Seeing Zheng Ping and the others' serious expressions, Mo Qingyun frowned. He was puzzled and asked, what's wrong? What happened? Hearing Mo Qingyun's question, Qian Linglong took out a scroll and handed it to Mo Qingyun. Heavenly Mandate. Mo Qingyun took the scroll and saw the words Heavenly Mandate. He was immediately curious. Could this scroll be related to the Heavenly Mandate Pavilion? Seeing the words Heavenly Mandate, Mo Qingyun instinctively thought of the Heavenly Mandate Pavilion. He began to read the contents of the scroll. After reading the contents of the scroll, Mo Qingyun's expression turned ugly. His body emitted a murderous aura. The contents of the scroll roughly described that the Heavenly Mandate Pavilion represented the will of the heavens to choose some sacrifices for the heavens. Qian Linglong was one of the chosen sacrifices. If the treasure pavilion did not want to be destroyed, they had to obediently hand over Qian Linglong. The Heavenly Mandate Pavilion is so arrogant. They actually say that they represent the will of the heavens. Closing the scroll in his hand, Mo Qingyun said angrily. He turned to look at Qian Linglong and the others and said, "Where is the Heavenly Mandate Pavilion? Take me there now. I want to see how they represent the heavens." Hearing Mo Qingyun's words, Zheng Ping and the others were silent. They had a helpless expression. Seeing the reaction of Zheng Ping and the others, Mo Qingyun showed a puzzled expression. He did not understand why Zheng Ping was like this. It was reasonable to say that the strength of the Heavenly Mandate Pavilion was only equal to that of the Jinxing Palace. Zheng Ping and the others should not have such a reaction. Mr. Mo, you may not know, but the Heavenly Mandate Pavilion is a little special. Under Mo Qingyun's puzzled gaze, Zheng Ping sighed and said, "The Heavenly Mandate Pavilion is different from the Jinxing Palace and the Bloody Corpse Demon Sect. It does not have a specific territory. It is just a moving building. It has only appeared 3 times so far. No one knows where it is hiding. So that's how it is." After listening to Zheng Ping's explanation, Mo Qingyun had a general understanding of the Heavenly Mandate Pavilion. In that case, the Heavenly Mandate Pavilion was indeed a little special. It was a little troublesome to deal with. Since we can't find them, we will wait patiently. Unable to see the location of the Heavenly Mandate Pavilion, Mo Qingyun did not think too much about it. He was ready to deal with whatever came his way. After comforting Qian Linglong and the others, Mo Qingyun's heart moved. He said, "I read the description in the scroll. Linglong should not be the only one chosen by the Heavenly Mandate Pavilion. There should be other people." Hearing Mo Qingyun's words, Zheng Ping's old face tightened. He said in a deep voice, "In addition to Miss Linglong, there are 2 other women who were chosen. They are Zhou Yu, the second daughter of the Deshun Trading Company, and Wang Mu, the first daughter of the Fenghua Sword Manor." Hearing Zheng Ping's words, Mo Qingyun nodded in understanding and said, "Since the Heavenly Mandate Pavilion has also chosen them, they will certainly go and capture them. You immediately order people to go to these 2 places and bring Zhou Yu and Wang Mu here." Chapter 2131. Perhaps because Mo Qingyun's fame had spread far and wide, the matter of inviting Zhou Yu and Wang Mu went exceptionally smoothly. Not long after Zheng Ping left, he brought Zhou Yu and Wang Mu to the precious treasure pavilion, which was filled with singing birds and fragrant flowers. Seeing Zhou Yu and Wang Mu's faces, Mo Qingyun couldn't help but be stunned. These 2 girls' faces were no less beautiful than Qian Linglong. Seeing this situation, Mo Qingyun had already guessed the purpose of the Heavenly Mandate Pavilion's choice of offerings. Zhou Yang, the owner of Deshun Trading Company, and Wang Xiong, the owner of Fenghua Sword Manor, came with the 2 girls. "Greetings, Mr. Mo." Everyone came in front of Mo Qingyun and bowed to Mo Qingyun in a respectful manner. Seeing their actions, Mo Qingyun nodded kindly and pointed to the chairs next to him, saying, "You don't have to be so polite. Sit down first." Hearing Mo Qingyun's instructions, Zhou Yang and the others sat down, waiting for Mo Qingyun's instructions. Seeing that everyone was looking at him, Mo Qingyun sorted out his thoughts and said, "About the Heavenly Mandate Pavilion's choice of offerings, what do you think about it?" Hearing Mo Qingyun's words, Zhou Yang and the others fell silent, making the atmosphere depressing. The corners of Zhou Yu and Wang Mu's eyes were filled with tears. They looked very pitiful. Ah! Wang Xiong was silent for a while. Then he sighed heavily and said, Mr. Mo, to tell you the truth, before coming here, we have already discussed how to deal with the Heavenly Mandate Pavilion. Hearing Wang Xiong's words, Wang Mu's expression became even more sad, and tears flowed directly from his eyes. While Wang Mu was crying, Wang Xiong's expression became even more serious, and he continued, Mr. Mo, we are different from you. We don't have the strength to compete with the Heavenly Mandate Pavilion. We have already prepared for the worst. If it really doesn't work, in order to save the entire Fenghua Sword Manor, we will have to wrong Wang Mu. After listening to Wang Xiong's words, Zhou Yang nodded with a heavy expression. Obviously, he thought the same. Mo Qingyun's heart sank when he knew what Wang Xiong and Wang Xiong were thinking. His face turned even uglier. Whether it was Qian Linglong, Zhou Yu, or Wang Mu, they were not animals that could be sacrificed to the heavens and earth. Boss Zhou, Manor Head Wang, don't worry. Since I've encountered this matter, I will definitely not let it go. Mo Qingyun comforted Zhou Yang and the others as he looked at their gloomy expressions. His expression turned cold as he said, It's fine if the Heavenly Mandate Pavilion doesn't show up. But if they dare to show up, I will make sure that they won't be able to return. Thank you, Mr. Mo. Hearing Mo Qingyun's words, Zhou Yang and the others calmed down, and a look of gratitude appeared on their faces. As far as they were concerned, if Mo Qingyun was willing to make a move, he would definitely be able to resolve the crisis Zhou Yu and Zhou Yu were in. Boss Zhou, Manor Head Wang, if the Heavenly Mandate Pavilion comes to ask for you, just let them come to me. After comforting Zhou Yang and Zhou Yu, Mo Qingyun gave them another order to make them feel more at ease. Hearing Mo Qingyun's words, Zhou Yang and the others were even happier. They thanked Mo Qingyun again and said, Mr. Mo, if the people of the Heavenly Mandate Pavilion know that you're going to stop them from doing evil, they may be too scared to show up. That would be best. Mo Qingyun smiled faintly. He didn't think that the Heavenly Mandate Pavilion would really be afraid of him. If the Heavenly Mandate Pavilion was afraid of him, they wouldn't have chosen Qian Linglong when they were choosing sacrifices. Next, Mo Qingyun talked with a few people for a while, and then sent Zhou Yang and Zhou Yu away. Miss Zhou Yu, Miss Wang Mu, don't go back for a few days. Stay in the Treasure Pavilion with peace of mind. After sending Zhou Yang and Zhou Yu away, Mo Qingyun told Zhou Yu and asked Zheng Ping to arrange accommodations for them. While arranging accommodations for Zhou Yu and Zhou Yu, Mo Qingyun also stayed in the Treasure Pavilion so that he could deal with the invasion of the Heavenly Mandate Pavilion at any time. What surprised Mo Qingyun was that he waited for several days in a row, but there was no movement from the Heavenly Mandate Pavilion. On this day, when Mo Qingyun was waiting for the Heavenly Mandate Pavilion, Jin Wei came with a group of people. Jin Wei came to the Treasure Pavilion again, scaring the chief steward and the others. They were afraid that this guy would come to cause trouble again. It couldn't be helped. Although Mo Qingyun was powerful, Jin Wei's background was not weak either. After all, no one knew that Mo Qingyun had taken over the Jinxing Palace. Chief Steward, please send a message for me. I have an urgent matter to discuss with Mr. Mo. While everyone was afraid of Jin Wei, he showed a respectful expression and walked up to the chief steward to ask for help. His current attitude was a huge contrast to when he came to the Precious Treasure Pavilion to cause trouble. Very well, Mr. Jin Wei, please wait a moment. Seeing Jin Wei's respectful attitude, the chief steward did not dare to neglect him and greeted him politely. Then, the chief steward left to report Jin Wei's arrival to Mo Qingyun. Knowing that Jin Wei had come, Mo Qingyun did not leave him out and immediately came out to see him. He smiled and said, Mr. Jin Wei, I haven't seen you today. You look as good as ever. What business do you have with me today? Mr. Mo, you must be joking. Hearing Mo Qingyun's teasing words, Jin Wei's face immediately turned red, and he shook his head in panic. After exchanging some pleasantries with Mo Qingyun, Jin Wei did not beat around the bush and began to explain his purpose in coming to Mo Qingyun. Mr. Mo, It's your first time in Thousand Language City, so there are many things you're not familiar with. I'm here today to run some errands for you and see if there's anything I can help with. Seeing Jean Wei's behavior, the surrounding people were all stunned. They admired Mo Qingyun to the extreme. Mo Qingyun is awesome. Even someone like Jean Wei is being taught a lesson by him. This guy only knows how to bully people. If you were as strong as Mo Qingyun, he would be afraid of you too, no matter what. Now that Mo Qingyun is suppressing Jean Wei, he won't dare to be presumptuous anymore. Seeing Jean Wei's actions, the crowd whispered to one side, expressing their disdain for Jean Wei. Mo Qingyun immediately understood Jean Wei's purpose in coming. It was probably Jean Ren's arrangement. Mo Qingyun did not mind Jean Ren's actions. With Jean Wei running errands for him, he could save himself some trouble. If that's the case, you can stay. Mo Qingyun nodded at Jean Wei before telling Zheng Ping to arrange a place for Jean Wei to stay. While Mo Qingyun and the others were talking, Qian Yulong and the others hurried over in a panic, as if they had encountered something major. When Qian Yulong and the others arrived, they found Qian Linglong and whispered something to her. After hearing Qian Yulong and the others' report, Qian Linglong's pretty face immediately turned cold. Her body emitted a cold aura. Chapter 21:32. Linglong, what's going on? Seeing Qian Linglong's reaction, Mo Qingyun's expression changed, and he asked with concern. The ancestral tombs of the Thousand Language Manor have been dug up recently. Many of the bodies of the Thousand Language Manor's ancestors have disappeared. Under Mo Qingyun's questioning, Qian Linglong roughly explained the situation. Then she said, if I'm not mistaken, this should be the work of the Bloody Corpse Demon sect. They need a large number of corpses to refine Bloody Corpse puppets. After hearing Qian Linglong's words, Mo Qingyun nodded and understood the general situation. In the current Thousand Language City, only the Blood Corpse Demon sect had the guts and the ability to do so. What do you plan to do? After knowing about the Thousand Language Manor, Mo Qingyun was not in a hurry to take action. He first asked for Qian Linglong's opinion. Hearing Mo Qingyun's inquiry, Qian Linglong looked worried and said, now, we have to be wary of the Mandate Tower's attack. If we deal with the Blood Corpse Demon sect at this time, if the Mandate Tower suddenly attacks, we'll be very passive. Hearing Qian Linglong's words, Qian Yulong and the others were silent. They also thought so. I don't think so. While everyone was thinking so, Mo Qingyun shook his head and said, I just think that this is the best opportunity to intimidate all the forces in the Thousand Language City. Qian Linglong and the others were puzzled and looked at Mo Qingyun curiously. They wanted Mo Qingyun to clear their doubts. Don't worry about the Mandate Tower. Just be careful and focus on dealing with the Blood Corpse Demon sect. Seeing that everyone was looking at him, Mo Qingyun briefly explained his thoughts and added, the true strength of the Blood Corpse Demon sect is similar to that of the Gold Punishment Palace. With the combined strength of the Thousand Language Manor and the Gold Punishment Palace, it is more than enough to deal with them. After hearing Mo Qingyun's words, Qian Yulong and the others nodded. They felt that Mo Qingyun's words were true. To ensure that nothing goes wrong, I will have the King Devourer assist you in secret. In order to reassure Qian Yulong and the others, Mo Qingyun summoned King Devourer and instructed her to assist Qian Yulong and the others. Seeing King Devourer's help, Qian Yulong and the others were even more assured. A Saint Realm late-stage expert was very useful. After explaining everything, Mo Qingyun said to Qian Yulong and the others, Master Qian Yulong, since everything is settled, don't waste any more time. Go and eliminate the Blood Corpse Demon sect immediately. Yes. After hearing Mo Qingyun's instructions, Thousand Language Dragon didn't dare to delay and immediately set off for the Gold Punishment Palace. After settling the matter of the Thousand Language Manor, Mo Qingyun continued to wait for the Heavenly Mandate Pavilion to come to the Treasure Pavilion to take him away. Time slowly passed. After about 2 hours, the Blood Corpse Demon Sect's battle began. Have you heard? The Thousand Language Manor and the Gold Punishment Palace have joined forces to eliminate the Blood Corpse Demon Sect. I knew it long ago, because the Blood Corpse Demon Sect stole the ancestral grave of the Thousand Language Manor. They angered the bottom line of the Thousand Language Manor. Have you noticed? The Thousand Language Manor seems to be very aggressive recently. They are eliminating one powerful enemy after another. I feel that there seems to be an invisible force in the Thousand Language City that is changing the structure of the Thousand Language City little by little. After hearing what you said, it seems to be the case. 3 major forces have already been affected. I don't know what will happen to the last Heavenly Mandate Pavilion. As the Battle of the Blood Corpse Demon Sect began, some observant people discovered that the Thousand Language City was different. At this moment, as everyone was talking, a huge floating building appeared in the sky above the Thousand Language City. The people of the Heavenly Mandate Pavilion had appeared. The Heavenly Mandate Pavilion has appeared. I don't know what they will do this time. I heard that the Heavenly Mandate Pavilion has appeared this time to choose sacrifices for the heavens. You believe such words? The people they choose are all beautiful women. It must be to satisfy their desires. I also know that one of the sacrifices chosen by the Heavenly Mandate Pavilion seems to be a woman by Mo Qingyun's side. The Heavenly Mandate Pavilion has provoked Mo Qingyun. He is going to stir up trouble. Mo Qingyun is going to make a move again. I'm really looking forward to it. I don't know how he will slap the Heavenly Mandate Pavilion in the face. Fight, fight. Wait for the slap in the face. Don't abuse people. Seeing the Heavenly Mandate Pavilion appear, some people who were familiar with Mo Qingyun were all excited. Looking at their posture, it seemed that the people who would fight with the Heavenly Mandate Pavilion were themselves. After a while, the Heavenly Mandate Pavilion came to the sky above the Treasure Pavilion. 3 men in golden robes walked out. The cultivation of these 3 people was not low. Each of them was at the peak of the medium level of the Saint Plane. They were only 1 step away from breaking through to the later stage of the Saint Plane. Among the 3, the leader of the strong men looked down at the Treasure Pavilion and shouted, "Zhou Yu, Wang Mu, Qian Linglong, you have been chosen by the heavens. This is an honor for you 3. Come with us to the sacrifice." Hearing this man's words, the surrounding people immediately tensed up. They could not help but worry about Mo Qingyun. The Heavenly Mandate Pavilion had always been mysterious and powerful. Facing such an enemy, would Mo Qingyun still be as strong as before? In the inner hall of the Treasure Pavilion, they are finally here. Hearing this strong man's words, Mo Qingyun's expression changed, and a cold light flashed in his eyes. Immediately, Mo Qingyun did not hesitate. He quickly came outside the Treasure Pavilion and confronted the 3 people of the Heavenly Mandate Pavilion. Seeing the people around Qian Linglong, one of the 3 people of the Heavenly Mandate Pavilion walked out. A short man shouted, "We are here by the will of the heavens to take away the sacrifice he has chosen. Those who have no business with us should leave immediately." What a bunch of tricks. Looking at the 3 people of the Heavenly Mandate Pavilion, Mo Qingyun's expression turned cold. His eyes were full of sarcasm. He said, "You want to take Linglong away from me? That is impossible. Even if the one who comes today is the heavens, I will make a hole in it." As soon as Mo Qingyun finished speaking, his body slowly floated into the air and confronted the 3 people of the Heavenly Mandate Pavilion. "How dare you, a boy of the 9 heavens, Xian Immortal Plane, disobey the will of the heavens?" Seeing Mo Qingyun's actions, the 3 people of the Heavenly Mandate Pavilion were immediately furious. They shouted at Mo Qingyun. As soon as the 3 of them finished speaking, their figures flashed and surrounded Mo Qingyun. As soon as the 3 of them attacked, a powerful aura burst out and crushed toward Mo Qingyun. Although the 3 of them were at the peak of the medium level of the Saint Plane, the aura they exuded was much more terrifying than Jinrina's. It seemed that the true strength of the Heavenly Mandate Pavilion was much stronger than that of the other 3 forces. More importantly, Mo Qingyun also sensed a powerful bloodline power in the 3 of them. This bloodline power was different from the bloodlines of the Wild Continent, but it was also very powerful. Mo Qingyun could not help but have an illusion that even the Taichu creation bloodline was not as powerful as the bloodline of these three people. This discovery made Mo Qingyun very curious about the origin of these three people. Chapter 21:33. The God Clan? The God Clan of the Desolation Era? Mo Qingyun looked at the three people in front of him and frowned, guessing their origins. In Mo Qingyun's view, only the powerful God Clan of the Desolation Era would have such a powerful bloodline. Hearing Mo Qingyun's words, the three people of the Heavenly Mandate Pavilion sneered and looked at Mo Qingyun with disdain. They said, "We're the noble divine clan. How can we be a race from a low-level civilization like yours? To you, we are the heavens that cannot be disobeyed. You are really full of yourself." Hearing the words of the three people of the Heavenly Mandate Pavilion, Mo Qingyun curled his lips and was even more disdainful of the three of them. He said, "I will say the same thing. Even if you're the heavens today, I will break your heavens." As Mo Qingyun's words fell, he did not hesitate and directly attacked the strong man. No matter what the other party's identity was, since they wanted to harm Qian Linglong, Mo Qingyun could not let them go. "You are courting death." Seeing Mo Qingyun take the initiative to attack him, the strong man shouted angrily and faced Mo Qingyun. As for the other two people, they were not in a hurry to make a move. They looked at Mo Qingyun with mocking eyes. Presumably, in his opinion, it was more than enough for him to deal with a kid like Mo Qingyun. "One man, let this kid see the power of our high-level plane. One Xin, since one man is going to deal with the kid, let's go capture the three women first. One Teng, don't worry, they can't escape. Haha, I forgot that you have the all-embracing, soul-searching instrument." The other two people of the Heavenly Mandate Pavilion were talking and laughing on the side. In their eyes, Mo Qingyun and the others were prey waiting to be slaughtered. They could do whatever they wanted. "Kid, let me show you the power of the Divine Clan and let you know the gap between us." Looking at the approaching Mo Qingyun, the corner of one man's mouth curled up, and a cold look appeared on his face. Heavenly roar. As one man's words fell, he raised his head towards the sky and roared. A terrifying power erupted and shattered the clothes on his upper body. As one man's clothes were torn apart, the strange runes on his body appeared in front of Mo Qingyun's eyes. Once these runes were revealed, they immediately blossomed into a dazzling screen of light and emitted a threatening aura. At the same time, these runes seemed to form a close connection with the entire world. Boom, boom, boom. Deafening sounds of thunder came from the sky above Thousand Language City, as if the heavens were roaring in anger. After the sound of thunder appeared, it began to become louder and louder, slowly giving rise to sound waves. These sound waves blasted towards Mo Qingyun as soon as they appeared. It was as if they wanted to shatter Mo Qingyun. Under the impact of the sound waves, some buildings in Thousand Language City were instantly blasted into dust. What a powerful technique! Seeing one man make a move, Mo Qingyun was shocked, and his mood immediately became heavy. The technique that one man displayed was a little beyond his understanding. It was something that he had never seen before. The power that this person is using seems to be at a level above saint power. Could it be that he came from another plane? Discovering the power that one man used, Mo Qingyun's expression shook, and a bold idea appeared in his mind. In Mo Qingyun's opinion, this was the only explanation that could explain one man's strangeness. After a brief moment of shock, Mo Qingyun did not dare to hesitate. He immediately calmed his mind and resisted the impact of the sound waves. While Mo Qingyun was resisting the impact of the sound waves, the primordial spirit that had been cultivating in the gray space suddenly opened its eyes. Then, Mo Qingyun's primordial spirit's figure flashed and returned to Mo Qingyun's sea of consciousness. When the primordial spirit returned to Mo Qingyun's sea of consciousness, he quickly formed a hand seal and pointed towards one man. A powerful and mysterious force blasted out from Mo Qingyun's head and turned into a ray of light that shot towards one man. In the blink of an eye, this powerful ray of light blasted into one man's sea of consciousness. One man was caught off guard and suffered a blow from Mo Qingyun's primordial spirit. He could not help but let out a miserable cry. Then, the divine ability that one man used, Heaven's Roar, disappeared. Seeing that one man was injured by Mo Qingyun, one Tongue and one Xian, who were watching from the side, revealed surprised expressions. That kid injured one man? It's really surprising. A person at the first level of the Nine Heavens Xian Immortal Realm can actually injure one man. This kid is not simple. The power he displayed is even higher than our power level. Impossible. Unless he comes from a 3-star plane, it's impossible for his power level to be higher than ours. In my opinion, this kid's value might be higher than those 3 women. That's right. If we offer him to the Heavenly Emperor, the Heavenly Emperor should be very happy. Noticing Mo Qingyun's abnormality, one Xian and one Tong sneered. They were unwilling to stand by and do nothing. Then, one Xian and one Tong flew towards one man, preparing to deal with Mo Qingyun together. Seeing one Xian and one Tong approach, one man's face darkened. He showed a strong dissatisfaction and said, "One Tong, one Xian, I can deal with this kid alone. I don't need your help. One man, this kid is very valuable. We can't let him escape. Therefore, it's better if the 3 of us work together to ensure that we can capture him without fail." Hearing one man's displeased words, one Xian and one Tong explained and turned to look at Mo Qingyun. Seeing one Tong and one Xian make a move, Mo Qingyun's expression became heavy. He was fully on guard against the 3 of them. One man alone was already very troublesome for him. If one Tong and one Xian were to join in, his situation would be a little bad. Discerning people could see that one Xian and one Tong's strength wasn't any weaker than one man's. More importantly, one man's group was very strange. UD High and the others couldn't help them. "Qingyun, I'll help you." Qian Linglong came to Mo Qingyun's side while he was thinking about how to deal with the 3 of them with a heavy heart. Looking at Qian Linglong, Mo Qingyun hesitated. He was considering whether or not to let Qian Linglong take action. Mo Qingyun pondered for a moment and decided to let Qian Linglong take action. After all, she was a late-stage Sage Realm expert. Even if her methods weren't as strange as one man's group, she should have no problem protecting herself by relying on the suppression of her realm. Seeing Mo Qingyun's expression, Qian Linglong knew what he was thinking. She smiled charmingly and said, "Don't worry, they can't do anything to me. Don't forget that my master also came from a 2-star plane. I almost forgot about that." Hearing Qian Linglong's words, Mo Qingyun had a look of realization on his face, and his worried heart relaxed. The reason Qian Linglong could become the holy maiden of the 1,000 illusions was because she had taken an expert as her master. Qian Linglong's master was a powerful traveling Taoist. It was said that he had come from a powerful plane. Because Mo Qingyun had thought that this kind of thing was very far away from him, he hadn't paid much attention to it. Chapter 21:34. Since that's the case, let's join forces to fight against the experts from the higher realms. Mo Qingyun didn't care about the identities of one man and the others. He only wanted to fight against the 3 of them. As Mo Qingyun spoke, he released a strong battle intent, giving people a feeling that his heroic spirit reached the clouds. "Demon God, transformation!" Mo Qingyun shouted angrily. His body instantly expanded and turned into a demon god that was dozens of feet tall. When Mo Qingyun turned into a demon god, the aura he released also increased and reached the 2nd level of the 9 Heavens Xian Immortal Realm. Seeing Mo Qingyun's body grow bigger, the expressions of the people watching the battle changed drastically. What kind of divine ability is this? It can actually increase Mo Qingyun's cultivation. It turns out that Mo Qingyun didn't use his true strength when he fought against Jinrenha. Mo Qingyun's strength is too terrifying. How did this guy cultivate? Everyone was shocked when they saw Mo Qingyun's performance. Their expressions changed one by one. If they knew that Mo Qingyun used the fusion gate to fuse with other people's cultivation, they would be even more shocked. 1,000 illusions. When Mo Qingyun used his divine ability, Qian Linglong didn't hold back and also used her divine ability. Then, Qian Linglong's body split into two into three, and finally, thousands of clones. Although the strength of these clones couldn't be compared to the original body, each of them had the combat strength of a middle-stage saint. Therefore, their combined battle prowess was not to be underestimated. This is the divine ability of the 1,000 illusions. That woman is from the 1,000 illusions. Her bloodline is so powerful. She's definitely not from the 1,000 illusions. Who is she? No wonder Mo Qingyun came to the 1,000-language city. It seems like his arrival is related to this woman. I finally know why the 1,000-language mansion is so strong recently. It seems like Mo Qingyun is behind it. Seeing Qian Linglong's reaction, some quick-witted people immediately found the key point. They finally knew why the Dark Devil clan of the 1,000-language manor had been annihilated and why the 1,000-language manor dared to go against the Blood Corpse Devil sect. It turned out that Mo Qingyun was behind all of this. He was secretly manipulating everything. Under everyone's shocked gazes, Mo Qingyun's figure flashed, and he took the lead to attack one man's group. His figure flickered a few times as Mo Qingyun arrived above one man and the other two. He raised his hand and pressed down on them. Power of creation * heavenly demon star splitting palm. An imposing power of creation gathered in Mo Qingyun's palm and turned into a huge black palm shadow. The huge black palm formed and blocked the light above the crowd, causing the light to dim instantly. Bang, bang, bang. Under the crushing pressure of the palm shadows, some of the buildings in 1,000-word city were instantly crushed into dust. Some people with weaker cultivations directly turned pale and spat out blood under Mo Qingyun's palm. Seeing this situation, no one dared to hesitate and hurriedly dodged in all directions. The aura emitted by the palm shadows was already unbearable. One could imagine how terrifying Mo Qingyun's palm was. What a powerful ability. Is this kid really someone from a lower realm? No, impossible. This kind of power is definitely not from a lower realm. Sensing the power of Mo Qingyun's palm, one man and the other two were shocked. A trace of fear flashed in their eyes. At this moment, they truly discovered how monstrous Mo Qingyun was. This kid is very strange. The three of us will immediately join forces to deal with this kid. Discovering Mo Qingyun's strangeness, Wan Teng's expression turned solemn as he hurriedly instructed one man and the other two. Hearing Wan Teng's words, one man and the other two quickly nodded and put away their contempt. Purgatory of heaven. Wan Teng and the other two quickly formed hand seals. The runes on their bodies flashed and gathered a terrifying power. The power burst out and gathered in the hand seals, causing the hand seals to emit a dazzling light. In the blink of an eye, the hand seals expanded by nearly 100 times and turned into a black double-edged axe. The double-edged axe formed, and with the power to split the heavens and earth, it slashed towards the giant palm in the sky. Boom, boom, boom. The giant palm and the axe collided and immediately exploded with a deafening sound, creating a destructive storm. The storm formed and soared into the sky, causing the heavens and earth to shake. For a moment, an intense gale that swept away everything in its path enveloped the entire 1,000-language city. We can't go on like this. If we continue to fight, the 1,000-language city will be destroyed. When Mo Qingyun saw the shockwaves from his battle erupting with a huge destructive force, he frowned heavily and said, "Ling Long, block the shockwaves from the battle. Don't let them destroy 1,000-language city. I'll lure the three of them away." Okay. Qian Linglong nodded and immediately blocked the aftermath of the battle, protecting the people in the 1,000-language city. Under Qian Linglong's protection, most of the people in the 1,000-language city had a lingering fear. At this moment, they felt as if they had just survived a disaster. If it wasn't for Qian Linglong, they would have been in deep trouble. Seeing that Qian Linglong had blocked the aftermath of the battle, Mo Qingyun turned to look at one man and the other two and said, "This place is too small. I can't display my full strength. If the three of you have the guts, follow me out of the city and fight." After Mo Qingyun finished speaking, he turned into a ray of light and flew out of the city. "We can't let that kid escape. Let's chase after him." Seeing Mo Qingyun's action, one man and the other two exchanged glances and immediately chased after Mo Qingyun. In their opinion, Mo Qingyun's words were just an excuse to escape. Seeing that Mo Qingyun and the other three had flown out of the city, Qian Linglong did not hesitate and immediately chased after them. "Let's go and take a look. We can't miss such a great battle. That's only natural. There's no harm in slapping someone's face. How can I not watch it? It's a pity that my cultivation is too weak. Otherwise, I would follow them and take a look. Yeah, without a Saint Realm cultivation, it would be too late to escape if they were affected by the aftermath of the battle." Seeing the actions of Mo Qingyun and the other three, the people in the thousand-language city were in a different mood. Under everyone's gaze, Mo Qingyun's figure flashed and quickly arrived at a barren mountain peak. When Mo Qingyun stopped, one man and the other two had also caught up. Their gazes were cold as they looked at Mo Qingyun. Then, Qian Linglong also caught up and stopped beside Mo Qingyun. After a while, the people who were watching the show also came to a place not far away from Mo Qingyun and the others. There was no other way. The aftermath of the battle between Mo Qingyun and the others was too terrifying. Even if they had a Saint Realm cultivation, they did not dare to get too close. If they were affected by the aftermath of the battle, even if they had a Saint Realm cultivation, they would lose a layer of skin because of it. "Since you caught up, let's fight." Seeing that one man and the other two had caught up, Mo Qingyun did not talk nonsense with them and directly attacked the three of them. Chapter 2135. 99 Heavenly Demon God, Slaughtering Sword Formation. Mo Qingyun waved his finger, and 81 ancient swords quickly appeared in front of him. The 81 ancient swords flew in front of Mo Qingyun like flood dragons. In a short moment, the 81 ancient swords formed a sword formation and enveloped Mo Qingyun and Qian Linglong. Mo Qingyun wasn't afraid of one man and the others. However, these people had a terrifying origin, so it was better to be careful. One man and the others tensed up when they saw Mo Qingyun attack. They didn't have the slightest bit of calmness. Now, Mo Qingyun was an opponent on the same level in their eyes, so they didn't dare to underestimate him. Raging calamity flame. One man and the others clenched their fists. Flame surged on their fists. The runes on their bodies shone brightly. Their fists condensed a formidable power. Then they clashed their fists together and fused their power. Boom! One man and the other's fists collided with each other. A huge ball of flame flew out of their fists and into the air. The huge ball of flame left their fists and began to expand rapidly. Its diameter approached 10,000 meters in the blink of an eye. The grass and trees on the barren mountain peak below were instantly burned to ashes by the power of the huge ball of flame. The surrounding people's complexions changed when they saw the power of the huge ball of flame. Their complexions became pale. What a terrifying magical ability. The combined power of these three people has already surpassed an ordinary expert of the late stage of the Sage Realm. We are several thousand meters away from him, but I feel as if my blood and chi are surging under the power of the huge ball of flame. If we come within 1,000 meters of them, our foundation will be injured by the power of the flame. We may even be burned to death. The strength of these three people is so terrifying. It won't be easy for Mo Qingyun to defeat them. The surrounding people exclaimed in shock when they sensed the might of a huge ball of flame. While the crowd was speaking in shock, they were also worried for Mo Qingyun. They felt that Mo Qingyun's situation was not good. Under everyone's worried gazes, Qian Linglong revealed a pained expression. She was suffering under the impact of the flames. Compared to Qian Linglong's situation, Mo Qingyun was much more relaxed and did not feel any discomfort. After all, the toughness of Mo Qingyun's body had already reached the level of medium-quality Saint artifacts. It was not much weaker than high-quality Saint artifacts. With such a strong physical body, it was naturally not a problem for him to withstand the impact of some flame energy. Dong, dong, dong. Under the control of one man and the other two, the giant flaming ball arrived above Mo Qingyun and his companion. Then, it scattered a terrifying rain of fire. Qian Linglong's pretty face changed when she saw the rain of fire. She immediately dismissed her clones. In the face of this terrifying rain of fire, the more illusions she summoned, the more disadvantageous it would be for her. She might as well fight with her true body. When Qian Linglong removed her phantom doppelganger, Mo Qingyun hurriedly activated the sword formation to protect Qian Linglong from harm. Linglong, retreat out of the fireball's attack range and assist me from his side. After seeing Qian Linglong's performance, Mo Qingyun instructed her to prepare to face one man and the other two alone. Because the divine ability used by one man and the other two just happened to restrain Qian Linglong, it was better for her to retreat first. Okay, be careful. After hearing Mo Qingyun's instructions, Qian Linglong did not persist and immediately retreated out of the fireball's attack range. After retreating out of the battle range, Qian Linglong braced herself and looked for a suitable opportunity to assist Mo Qingyun. Competing with me in the control of flames, I'm afraid you guys will be disappointed. Looking at one man and the other two above, Mo Qingyun's lips curled up and a look of contempt appeared on his face. After Mo Qingyun's words, his face turned cold, and he swung his right fist toward the giant flaming ball. Fire of civilization, sacred demon, star, shattering fist. An even more powerful flame energy gathered on Mo Qingyun's right fist. In the blink of an eye, it turned into a giant flaming fist. After the giant flaming fist was formed, it blasted toward the giant flaming ball in the air with the force of a thunderbolt. As Mo Qingyun's fist blasted out, the surrounding flames dimmed as if they were rabbits that had seen a tiger. This is the fire of civilization. This kid actually ignited the fire of civilization. Doesn't this mean that he's the lord of civilization of this plane? I really didn't expect that the lord of civilization of this plane would be a junior at the Nine Heavens mysterious immortal stage. Currently, he can't be considered the lord of civilization. He can only be said to have the potential to become the lord of civilization. The Heavenly Emperor should be very interested in such a person. If we give him to the Heavenly Emperor, the Heavenly Emperor should reward us. Recognizing Mo Qingyun's fire of civilization, one man and the other two were shocked, and the coldness on their faces became thicker. At this moment, while one man and the others were talking, the flaming fist blasted the giant flaming ball and let out a loud sound. Boom! A loud sound spread out. Following that, the flames on the giant flaming ball became much weaker. Crack, crack, crack. At the same time, the sound of an eggshell cracking came from the giant flaming ball. Oh no! The calamity flame is about to be broken. Once the divine ability is broken, we'll be in a passive position. Hurry up and attack with all your strength. Keep the flaming ball intact and block that kid's divine ability. This kid is only at the Nine Heavens mysterious immortal stage, but he's already so difficult to deal with. If he breaks through to the saint stage, he'll be even more formidable. Seeing the cracks on the giant flaming ball, Wantong and the other two's eyelids twitched. Panic, fear, and other emotions rose in their hearts. Then, Wantong and the other two clenched their teeth and used all of their strength to keep the flame torch from breaking. Even so, the giant flaming ball showed no signs of stopping. Boom! Not long after, a loud sound came from the giant flaming ball as it exploded. Following that, a terrifying flaming storm erupted in midair like a giant firework. Puff, puff, puff. After the giant flaming ball was destroyed by Mo Qingyun's domineering attack, one man and the other two's minds connected to it immediately vomited blood. Mo Qingyun didn't show any mercy after severely injuring the three with a single punch. His figure moved, and he immediately attacked the three of them. As Mo Qingyun charged towards one man and the other two, Mo Qingyun took out the tiger soul and slashed down at one man and the other two. Ghost Shadow Slash. Mo Qingyun slashed out, and 9 identical Mo Qingyun quickly appeared around him. Following that, the 10 Mo Qingyun continuously slashed at one man and the other two. Be careful. The kid's weapon is very strong. Don't fight it head-on. Seeing the tiger soul in Mo Qingyun's hand, Wan Xian's expression trembled as he spoke in a panic. As soon as Wan Xian finished speaking, he ignored his injuries and immediately took out a shield to block in front of his body. When Wan Xian took out the shield, Wan Tung and Wan Man didn't hesitate and poured their strength into it. Under the combined strength of Wan Man and the other two, the shield immediately emitted a dazzling light. Chapter 21:36. Boom! A doppelganger's attack landed on the shield, producing a deafening sound. Under the doppelganger's attack, the shield immediately shook violently, and the light on it dimmed by a few degrees. Seeing this scene, Wan Man and the others' expressions twitched, and their hearts hung in their throats. Just one doppelganger's attack had such terrifying power. Mo Qingyun and 9 doppelgangers' combined attack would be even more terrifying. Boom! Without waiting for Wan Man and the others to calm down, the second doppelganger's attack came, once again causing the shield to shake violently. Under the second doppelganger's attack, the light on the shield was clearly dimmer than before. Seeing the shield's light dim again, Wan Man and the others' pupils immediately shrank, and they became even more nervous. They couldn't continue like this. They would become cowards and suffer Mo Qingyun's attacks again and again. Although they knew that this wasn't a solution, the current situation didn't allow them to not do this. Once they gave up the shield's defense, they would be seriously injured under Mo Qingyun's attacks and lose their ability to fight. Following this, the remaining doppelganger's attacks landed on the shield again and again. When the 8th doppelganger's attack landed on the shield, the light on the shield finally dissipated. Seeing the light on the shield dissipate, Wan Man and the others' expressions changed greatly, and their faces turned pale. Boom! Without waiting for Wan Man and the others to calm down, the 9th doppelganger's attack landed on the shield. The power that Wan Man and the others had poured into the shield had been completely exhausted under the previous attacks. At this moment, facing the 9th doppelganger's attack, the shield was no longer able to block it for them. The 9th phantom doppelganger's attack smashed onto the shield, penetrated through the shield, and entered the bodies of Wan Man and the other two. Bang! 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 Receiving the 9th doppelganger's attack, Wan Man and the others were directly sent flying, and the blood in their bodies surged. However, before they could suppress their injuries, Mo Qingyun's attack came, and he swung his saber at the 3 of them. When Mo Qingyun swung his saber, the tiger soul instantly shone with a black light, and a 100-meter-long saber light blasted out. The saber light flew out from the tiger's soul, and in a flash, it landed on Wan Man and the others. After receiving Mo Qingyun's attack, Wan Man and the others fell to the ground like meteors. Boom! Boom! When Wan Man and the others fell to the ground, they smashed a few large holes in the mountain, causing a series of mountain collapses. Following the collapse of the mountain, a huge sandstorm erupted from the mountain peak. When the sandstorm appeared, it enveloped Wan Man and the others couldn't see their situation. After cutting down Wan Man and the other two with a single slash, Mo Qingyun didn't pursue them. Instead, he stood in the air with an indifferent expression. Seeing the battle situation of Mo Qingyun and the others, the surrounding onlookers all revealed shocked expressions. Moses, Moses' attack. Face smacking Mo is indeed worthy of his name. No matter who his opponent is, he never slaps their faces carelessly. Now that all the experts in the 1,000-language city have been swept away by him, does he feel lonely? Are you stupid? The experts in the 1,000-language city have been swept away, but there are still many experts in the 1,000 illusions. Even if the 1,000 illusions have been swept away, There are still many experts in the wasteland continent waiting to be slapped in the face. Yes, as long as they live, the face slaps will not stop. Brilliant! The onlookers became more and more excited as they talked. They were filled with strong expectations for Mo Qingyun's face-slapping feat while the crowd was talking. The sandstorm on the mountain peak dissipated, revealing 300-meter deep craters. In the craters, there were 3 miserable figures lying on the ground. They were one man and the other 2 who had been blasted down by Mo Qingyun. Cough, cough, cough. One man and the other 2 stood up and quickly flew out of the craters. They discussed with each other and said, "This kid's battle strength has exceeded our expectations. I'm afraid we can't deal with him. Let's leave this place first. Let's go." After one man and the other 2 finished their discussion, they decided to run for their lives without any hesitation. Seeing that one man and the other 2 were preparing to escape, Mo Qingyun did not chase after them. He immediately took out the God Shooter Bow. Mo Qingyun took out the God Shooter Bow and pulled it into a full moon. He used the fire of civilization to condense 3 arrows. Swoosh, swoosh, swoosh. Mo Qingyun's fingers loosened, and the arrows formed by the fire of civilization immediately chased after one man and the other 2. The 3 flaming arrows flashed and caught up with one man and the other 2 in the blink of an eye, piercing their backs. The fire arrows formed by the fire of civilization pierced into the bodies of one man and the other 2 and began to burn their bodies. After being burned by the fire of civilization, one man and the other 2 screamed and ran even faster. In the blink of an eye, the 3 of them had escaped from Mo Qingyun's sight and disappeared without a trace. These 3 guys are really strong. They were hit by the arrows formed by the fire of civilization, but they were still able to escape quickly. Mo Qingyun frowned as he looked at one man and the other 2 fleeing. He was a little surprised by their performance. If an ordinary expert of the intermediate stage of the Saint Realm was seriously injured and was hit by the fire of civilization arrow, he would not be able to escape. From this, it could be seen that one man and the other 2 from the 2-star realm were not ordinary experts of the Saint Realm. Qingyun, these 3 people have mysterious origins and strange means. Will it be troublesome if we let them escape? Qian Linglong frowned when she saw that one man and the other 2 had escaped. She couldn't help but feel worried. Mo Qingyun shook his head when he heard Qian Linglong's words. He said in a deep voice, "Don't worry. These 3 people's injuries are not light. They won't be able to stir up any trouble in a short time. The most important thing now is to help you recover the 1,000 illusions." Qian Linglong nodded when she heard Mo Qingyun's words. Her eyes flashed with a touched look. She could see from Mo Qingyun's performance that he cared about her very much. Otherwise, he wouldn't have helped her so wholeheartedly. The previous battle caused too much of a commotion. So, we shouldn't go back in a high-profile manner. Mo Qingyun thought in his heart. If he went back now, he would inevitably attract the attention of many people. Therefore, it was better for him to go back quietly. It would be easier for him to control the situation in secret. Mo Qingyun instructed Qian Linglong. Then, his figure flashed and flew toward the distance. Mo Qingyun has left. It seems like he doesn't intend to return to the 1,000-word city. Face-slapping Mo is going to leave the 1,000-word city and head to a broader stage to slap faces. It's a pity that we can't watch face-slapping Mo abuse people. Forget it. The show is over. Let's go back. Seeing that Mo Qingyun had flown far away, the onlookers returned to their homes with waning interest. Chapter 21:37. Not long after those people returned, the news of Mo Qingyun's departure spread throughout Thousand Language City. Just when everyone thought that Mo Qingyun and Qian Linglong had left, the 2 of them quietly returned. With the strength of Mo Qingyun and Qian Linglong, it was not difficult for them to return to Thousand Language City quietly. When Mo Qingyun returned to Thousand Language City, he went directly to the Blood Corpse Demon sect to see the situation there. Although Thousand Language Manor had the advantage, if the Blood Corpse Demon sect went all out, their situation would not be too optimistic. As one of the four major forces of Thousand Language City, the Blood Corpse demon sect was easy to find. Even if Mo Qingyun had not been there, it was not difficult to find it according to the description of Qian Linglong and the others. About 15 minutes later, Mo Qingyun came to the Blood Corpse demon sect, according to the memory in his mind, and saw the fierce battle scene. Unexpectedly, the two sides had been fighting for several hours, and the battle was still not over. It seemed to be in a stalemate. It seems that the rumors are not credible. The strength of the Blood Corpse demon sect and the Heavenly Mandate Pavilion is obviously stronger than Thousand Language Manor and the Jinxing Palace. Mo Qingyun glanced at the battle situation and had a clear understanding of the strength of the Blood Corpse demon sect. Not to mention the powerful blood corpses. The overall strength of the Blood Corpse demon sect was not weaker than Thousand Language Manor or Jinxing Palace. But if the blood corpses were added, the combat strength of the Blood Corpse demon sect was obviously a level higher. More importantly, what surprised Mo Qingyun was that among the blood corpses controlled by the Blood Corpse demon sect, there was an existence of a late-stage saint realm. Seeing this scene, Mo Qingyun could not help but feel a little lucky that he had the King Devourer with him. Otherwise, the people of Thousand Language Manor and Jinxing Palace would be at a disadvantage in the battle against the Blood Corpse demon sect. After knowing the situation of the two sides, Mo Qingyun disguised himself and joined the battle. When Mo Qingyun disguised himself, Qian Linglong also disguised herself and joined the battle. With Mo Qingyun and Qian Linglong joining the battle, the stalemate was instantly broken. Who are they? Why are you helping us? Because Mo Qingyun and his companion were in disguise, Qian Yulong and the others did not recognize Mo Qingyun and his companion. Hearing Qian Yulong's words, the sky-devouring mermaid empress glared at them and said unhappily, "This is my master and Miss Linglong. You can't even recognize them. How useless." Hearing King Devourer's words, Qian Yulong and the others wanted to cry, but had no tears. They felt extremely wronged. Mo Qingyun and Mo Wuji activated their immortal spiritual energy, wrapping themselves up tightly, making them look like moving clouds. It would be strange if he could recognize her. What Qian Yulong and the others thought was correct. If King Devourer was not Mo Qingyun's star general, she similarly could not have recognized him. Qian Yulong and the others stared blankly for a moment. They no longer hesitated and immediately attacked the Blood Corpse demon sect. With Mo Qingyun and Qian Linglong keeping the Blood Corpse demon sect's experts in check, Qian Yulong and the others felt much less pressure. Then, the battle became one-sided as the Blood Corpse demon sect's experts were continuously slaughtered. Not long after, all of the Blood Corpse demon sect's saints were slaughtered by Mo Qingyun and his companions. As for the remaining disciples, Mo Qingyun did not pay any attention to them and left them to fend for themselves. In recent years, the Blood Corpse demon sect had done a lot of evil deeds and secretly made a lot of enemies. Things like robbing other people's ancestral tombs was not the first time they'd done so. It was just that they were too powerful and others had been holding back. Now that the Blood Corpse demon sect saints had been killed and only a few small fries were left, their enemies naturally would not let them go. Jean Rinha, go to the Blood Corpse demon sect's treasury and loot it. After killing the Blood Corpse demon sect's experts, Mo Qingyun instructed Jean Rinha to collect the spoils of war. The Blood Corpse demon sect was comparable to the Qianyu mansion and had a lot of resources. They couldn't just let it go to waste. Okay. Hearing Mo Qingyun's instructions, Jean Rinha's face lit up and immediately rushed into the Blood Corpse demon sect with his men. After giving Jean Rinha an order, Mo Qingyun turned to Qian Yulong and asked, "Isn't the Blood Corpse demon sect strength similar to yours? How come they're more than twice as strong as yours?" "Mr. Mo, there's something you don't know. This change came too suddenly. We didn't expect it either." Hearing Mo Qingyun's question, Qian Yulong had an aggrieved expression and was extremely depressed. He explained, "The Blood Corpse demon sect robbed our ancestral tomb and stole our ancestor's body. They refined our ancestor's body into a blood corpse and used their power to deal with us. The more Qian Yulong spoke, the more aggrieved he felt. He was extremely depressed. Encountering such a situation, he could only suffer in silence, unable to voice out his bitterness. So that's how it is. After listening to Qian Yulong's explanation, Mo Qingyun revealed a look of understanding and understood the general situation. The late-stage Saint Realm blood corpse had the bloodline of the 1,000 illusions. It must be the ancestor of the Qinyu mansion. After knowing the specific situation, Mo Qingyun didn't blame Qian Yulong and the others. He instructed, "Go and collect your ancestor's body. After you bury them again, I'll set up a formation for your ancestral tomb. It'll be difficult for others to steal it." "Thank you very much, Mr. Mo." Hearing Mo Qingyun's words, Qian Yulong and the others were overjoyed and quickly thanked Mo Qingyun. They had witnessed Mo Qingyun's formation skills with their own eyes. He was definitely at the standard of a middle-grade Saint Array Master. More importantly, there were 2 middle-grade Saint Array Masters among Mo Qingyun's subordinates. With 3 middle-grade Saint Array Masters working together, it would be difficult for them to set up a formation that wasn't awesome. After thanking Mo Qingyun, Qian Yulong and the others went to collect the ancestor's body and put it into a coffin. After about 2 hours, the battle scene was cleaned up. Jin Renhe and the others also came out. Since everything is settled, let's return to the Qianyu mansion. Seeing that everything was settled, Mo Qingyun instructed Qian Yulong and the others and flew directly to the Qianyu mansion. After a while, Mo Qingyun and the others returned to the Qianyu mansion and buried the ancestor's body. After burying the ancestor's body, Mo Qingyun didn't go back on his words and began to set up a formation for the Qianyu mansion's ancestral tomb. In order to increase the speed of setting up the formation, Mo Qingyun summoned Shuelong and the others to set up the formation for the Qianyu mansion's ancestral tomb with him. When Mo Qingyun was setting up the formation, all kinds of rumors about him in the Qianyu city could be said to be in full swing. There were all kinds of versions. Some said that he was secretly controlling the Qianyu city. Some said that he was the young lord of the 1,000 illusions. When Mo Qingyun heard these rumors from Qian Yulong and the others, he just smiled at them. Chapter 2138. Bloodsword Sect Conference Hall. What? Mo Qingyun has left Thousand Language City? The news of Mo Qingyun's departure had reached Chun Huangyi's ears, and he was shocked. If Mo Qingyun had left, how was he going to avenge Chun Lin and Chun Yu? Wouldn't all his hard work have been in vain? As Chun Huangyi thought of this, he turned his head to look at Tang Sha as he asked, "Guardian Tian, Mo Qingyun has left the Thousand Language City. What should we do now?" "Sect Master, there's no need to worry. This matter isn't like the rumors." Hearing Chun Huangyi's question, Tang Sha smiled coldly and comforted Chun Huangyi. "When Thousand Language Manor was dealing with the Blood Corpse Demon Sect, I secretly went over to observe. With the combined strength of Thousand Language Manor and Gold Punishment Palace, they definitely couldn't exterminate the Blood Corpse Demon Sect. Later on, the Blood Corpse Demon Sect was exterminated and Mo Qingyun must have joined in. What you're saying is that Mo Qingyun's departure from Thousand Language City was just a facade, and he secretly returned." After Tang Sha's analysis, Chun Huangyi's eyes lit up as he deduced the actual situation. Seeing that Chun Huangyi understood what he meant, Tang Sha nodded his head in satisfaction and said, "Sect Master, if you don't believe me, you can go to the Precious Treasure Pavilion and secretly pay a visit to Mo Qingyun. I believe Mo Qingyun will meet you." "All right, I'll go now." In order to verify Tang Sha's words, Chun Huangyi didn't want to waste any time and immediately went to the Precious Treasure Pavilion. After a while, Chun Huangyi arrived at the Precious Treasure Pavilion and walked to the head steward. "Head steward, I'm the Bloodsword Sect Master, Chun Huangyi. I'm here to pay a visit to Mr. Mo." "Pay a visit to Mr. Mo?" The chief steward's expression froze. He was very surprised by Chun Huangyi's words. With a troubled expression, he said, "Sect Leader Chun, I'm really sorry. Mr. Mo has not returned since he left a few days ago. Chief Manager, Mr. Mo and I are close friends. Don't try to fool me. I know he's still in Thousand Words City. Seeing the Chief Manager's reaction, Chen Huangyi didn't care too much and immediately explained to the Chief Manager. From Chen Huangyi's point of view, since Mo Qingyun wanted to sneak into the city, he definitely didn't want anyone to know that he was back. Therefore, it was understandable that it would be troublesome to meet Mo Qingyun. Sec Leader Chen, I'm not lying to you. Mr. Mo really isn't here. Seeing that Chen Huangyi was unwilling to give up, the Chief Manager revealed a helpless expression and explained to him again. Seeing the Chief Manager's reaction, Chen Huangyi really believed that Mo Qingyun really wasn't in Treasure Pavilion. If that's the case, I'll leave first. When Mr. Mo comes back, I hope you can pass on a message for me. Seeing that Mo Qingyun really wasn't there, Chen Huangyi didn't want to stay any longer. He turned around and left Treasure Pavilion. He's really not here. Coming out of Treasure Pavilion, Chen Huangyi frowned. His heart was filled with doubts. According to Tang Xia, Mo Qingyun had already returned. But if he wasn't in Treasure Pavilion, where could he have gone? Flower Lingo Restaurant? Chen Huangyi thought for a while. He went to Flower Lingo Restaurant to see if Mo Qingyun was there. As for Thousand Words Residence and Gold Punishment Palace, Chen Huangyi didn't think of going there. Even if he was there, he wouldn't be able to see him. With his status, it was really difficult to get Thousand Words Dragon and Jinrenha to see him. Chen Huangyi went to Flower Lingo Restaurant and still didn't see Mo Qingyun. He went back disappointed. Guardian Tian, Mo Qingyun is not in the precious Treasure Pavilion. Could it be that he really left? When Chen Huangyi returned to the Bloodsword sect, he explained his doubts to Tang Xia. Tang Xia wasn't surprised by Chen Huangyi's concerns. He said calmly, Sect Leader, you don't know. Mo Qingyun is very close to Thousand Words Residence and Gold Punishment Palace. He might have already taken control of these two forces. If he isn't in Treasure Pavilion, he should be in Thousand Words Residence and Gold Punishment Palace. However, it's not realistic to go to Gold Punishment Palace and Thousand Words Residence to look for Mo Qingyun. Hearing Tang Xia's words, Chen Huangyi shook his head and dismissed the idea. Looking at the serious expression on Chen Huangyi's face, Tang Xia gave him a comforting smile and said, Leader, don't worry, Mo Qingyun will not be able to escape. At most, there are 5 more days before our allies arrive. What you need to do now is to wait patiently. If that's the case, I'll have to trouble Guardian Tian. Hearing Tang Xia's words, Chen Huangyi didn't think too much. He got up and left the main hall. Chen Huangyi left the Great Hall and returned to his own small courtyard. Doubt once again arose in his heart. If Mo Qingyun had secretly taken control of the Thousand-Language Manor and the Golden Punishment Palace during this period of time, and was also planning to deal with the Heavenly Mandate Pavilion and the Bloody Corpse Demon Sect, he shouldn't have time to care about Lin and Yuer. Also, even if others want to kill with a borrowed knife, with the strength of Bloodsword Sect, we can't compete with Mo Qingyun. Could it be that the death of Lin and Yuer has nothing to do with Mo Qingyun? The more Chen Huangyi thought about it, the more he felt that his deduction was right. The death of Chen Lin and Yuer might have nothing to do with Mo Qingyun. Although he knew the situation was like this, he was already riding a tiger, and there was no turning back now. Sigh. Chen Huangyi sighed and didn't think too much about it. 2 days later, in Thousand Words Residence. After a few days of setting up the array, the defensive array of Thousand Words Residence's ancestral tomb was finally completed by Mo Qingyun and the other two. After completing the defensive array of Thousand Words Residence's ancestral tomb, Mo Qingyun and the other two looked tired. They must have used up a lot of their energy. Master Qin Yulong, I need to cultivate for a few days. Please don't disturb me. After setting up the array, Mo Qingyun instructed Qin Yulong and returned to his place of rest. After hearing Mo Qingyun's instructions, Qin Yulong brought a few elders and personally stood guard for Mo Qingyun. Putting aside Mo Qingyun's identity, he set up the defensive array of Thousand Words Residence's ancestral tomb. It was worth it for Qin Yulong and the rest to do so. When Mo Qingyun returned to his room, he abandoned all distracting thoughts and immersed himself in cultivation. During the period when Mo Qingyun was cultivating, the medicinal crystals piled up around him floated out wisps of pure medicinal power. When medicinal power floated out, it was absorbed by Mo Qingyun and raised his cultivation bit by bit. The time that followed passed by slowly as Mo Qingyun cultivated. In the blink of an eye, 3 days had passed. After 3 days of continuous cultivation, the energy that Mo Qingyun exhausted from setting up the array finally recovered completely. However, to Mo Qingyun's surprise, his cultivation actually made great progress during these few days of cultivation. Peak of the first level of the 9 heavens Xian immortal realm. After sensing his cultivation, Mo Qingyun was delighted and anticipation appeared on his face as he said, "Based on the current situation, I'll be able to break through to the second level of the 9 heavens Xian immortal realm in at most 10 days. Chapter 2139 1,000 Illusions, Main Clan. 3 figures in a sorry state fled here in panic. Their auras were extremely weak. If Mo Qingyun was here, he would definitely recognize the 3 of them. They were one man and the other 2 who had fled earlier. Because they were worried that Mo Qingyun would hunt them down, one man and the other 2 hadn't dared to stop and rest for 5 days. They had no choice. Mo Qingyun's battle strength was too terrifying. They didn't dare to lower their guard. In their current state, if they were caught by Mo Qingyun, they wouldn't have a chance to survive. Therefore, they didn't dare to stop to heal their injuries before they were completely confident. Standing in the sky above the Dark Devil clan, Wan Tung and the other 2 glanced down and said, "This is the territory of a great force. Mo Qingyun wouldn't dare to brazenly capture us here. It should be safer for us to hide here and heal our injuries." After Wan Tung and the other 2 finished their discussion, their figures flashed, finding a secluded little courtyard to hide in. One man and the other 2 hid in the courtyard. They didn't dare to waste any time and immediately started to heal their injuries. At this moment, in a magnificent palace in the 1,000 Illusions main clan, a young man in a brocade robe suddenly opened his eyes and retreated from his cultivation. What a powerful blood chi fluctuation. I'm afraid that even the Sacred Might clan can't compare to this bloodline power. The young man in brocade robe had a shocked expression as he exclaimed. Then, a cold smile appeared on his face as he said, "If I can plant this bloodline, I will be the undisputed number 1 person among the younger generation of the Dark Devil clan." The young man in brocade robe muttered to himself. Then, he revealed an expectant expression and quickly walked out of the palace. "Sacred Sun Yunxiao, you've finished your seclusion." Seeing the young man in brocade robe come out, the people waiting outside the palace immediately bowed respectfully to him. Zi Yunxiao nodded indifferently in response to everyone's greetings. He said in a deep voice, "Is there any news about Mo Qingyun recently?" It said that Mo Qingyun went to the 1,000 Spirit City not long ago. Later, he seemed to have gone to the 1,000 Language City. When he heard Zi Yunxiao's question, Jing Chuxiong reported all the information he had received. While reporting Mo Qingyun's whereabouts, Jing Chuxiong also told Zi Yunxiao about Mo Qingyun's deeds. After reporting Mo Qingyun's deeds, Jing Chuxiong's expression turned grave. He said with a worried expression, "Saint Sun, if the report is true, Mo Qingyun's true combat strength is comparable to a late Saint Realm expert. It won't be easy for us to deal with him. I underestimated him." After listening to Jing Chuxiong's report, Zi Yunxiao's face darkened. His expression tensed up as he said, "Chen Zhao, contact the main family immediately and ask them to send some experts over. I believe that they will be very proactive in dealing with Mo Qingyun." "Yes," Chen Zhao answered and immediately left to contact the main branch of the Dark Demon race. Seeing Zi Yunxiao's action, Jing Chuxiong's expression turned for the better. The worry in his heart also lessened. He probably also felt that with the help of the experts from the Dark Demon race, dealing with Mo Qinyan would not be a problem. Don't worry about dealing with Mo Qinyan. Follow me to a place first. After dealing with Mo Qinyan, Zi Yunxiao did not want to waste any more time. He immediately instructed Jing Chuxiong and the rest. After instructing Jing Chuxiong and the rest, Zi Yunxiao's figure moved and stood mid-air. Decaying soul and bloodthirsty, Zi Yunxiao looked around and formed a hand seal. The saint energy in his palm began to gather wildly. A cold and gloomy aura came from Zi Yunxiao's palm and turned into the image of an evil spirit. When the evil spirit shadow appeared, its figure flashed, and it turned into a streamer and flew away. Seeing the evil spirit shadow fly away, Zi Yunxiao quickly followed and flew 10,000 meters away in the blink of an eye. Seeing Zi Yunxiao's action, although Jing Chuxiong and the rest did not understand, they immediately followed. After a while, under the guidance of the evil spirit shadow, Zi Yunxiao and the rest arrived above a small courtyard. What a rich blood qi fluctuation. This is the place. Zi Yunxiao stood above the small courtyard with a greedy expression on his face. His eyes coldly looked at the small courtyard. After carefully looking at the small courtyard, a cold smile appeared on Zi Yunxiao's face. He raised his hand and blasted toward the small courtyard. Decay heaven and earth. Zi Yunxiao's palm blasted out. Immediately, a gray mist-like saint force condensed and formed a huge zombie shadow. When the zombie shadow appeared, it rushed toward the small courtyard in a frenzied manner. Boom! The zombie shadow rushed into the courtyard and directly exploded, turning into a terrifying corrosive power. Under the corrosion of this corrosive power, the buildings and plants in the small courtyard instantly withered and eroded. At this moment, 3 disheveled figures flew out with flustered expressions. These 3 figures were one man and the other 2. Dark Devil Clan. When one man and the other 2 arrived in the air, they immediately recognized Zi Yunxiao's origin. Their expressions became somewhat flustered. With their intelligence and experience, they were naturally able to guess Zi Yunxiao's purpose in coming here. If there were no surprises, the purpose of Zi Yunxiao and the others coming here should be for the 3 of their blood. The 3 of you come with me. Looking at one man and the other 2 before him, a cold smile appeared on Zi Yunxiao's face as he ordered the 3 of them. Zi Yunxiao's words seemed to be in order, but in reality, there was an unquestionable feeling. He did not give one man and the other 2 a chance to refuse. Seeing the situation before them, one man and the other 2 immediately bitterly smiled. Their mood was extremely gloomy. They did not expect that just as they left the tiger's den, they would enter the wolf's den and be targeted by the Dark Devil Clan. More importantly, the 3 of them were already seriously injured. Just now, they were suddenly ambushed by Zi Yunxiao, causing their injuries to worsen. With their current state, they did not have the slightest chance of winning if they wanted to fight with Zi Yunxiao and the others. However, if they listened to Zi Yunxiao, they would have even less chance of survival. They were now in a hopeless situation. Looks like you're not willing to cooperate. I can only say sorry. Seeing one man and the other 2 remain silent, Zi Yunxiao guessed what they were thinking, and his face gradually became gloomy. After understanding one man and the other 2's thoughts, Zi Yunxiao did not waste any more words with them. He immediately ordered Jing Chuxiong and the others, attack. Capture all 3 of them. If one of them escapes, I'll hold you responsible. Once Zi Yunxiao finished speaking, he charged toward one man and the other 2 and directly tried to kill them. Yes. Hearing Zi Yunxiao's order, Jing Chuxiong and the others did not dare to hesitate. They all attacked one man. If one man and the other 2 were in their peak state, they would not be afraid of Zi Yunxiao and the others. However, they did not even have 30% of their strength. How could they fight? Very quickly, one man and the other 2 were surrounded by danger under Zi Yunxiao and the others' attacks. In the end, one man and the other 2 struggled for a while before dying at the hands of Zi Yunxiao and the others. After planting their blood, my strength will increase by 50%. After taking away the corpses of one man and the other 2, Zi Yunxiao smiled coldly and flew back to his residence. Seeing Zi Yunxiao's return, Jing Chuxiong and the others quickly followed and did not continue to stay there. Mo Qingyun, who was in Thousand Language City, knew nothing about what had happened to Wan Man and the others. He did not know that Wan Man and the other two had escaped from his hands but died at the hands of Zi Yunxiao. After Mo Qingyun came out of his room, he went to the Thousand Language Mansion's conference hall and found Qian Yulong and the others. Has there been any big movement in Thousand Language City recently? Mo Qingyun sat at the top of the conference hall. He glanced at Qian Yulong and the others and asked about the recent situation in Thousand Language City. Hearing Mo Qingyun's question, Qian Yulong's expression immediately turned serious, and he said in a deep voice, "A few days ago, the Dark Demon clan from Thousand Moon City arrived. However, we did not know which force received them and quickly hid them." Oh, Mo Qingyun was stunned when he heard Qian Yulong's report. He was a little surprised by the situation. He did not expect that there would be spies from the Dark Demon clan in Thousand Language City. This was really surprising. It had to be said that this wave of Dark Demon race's troops had hidden themselves too deeply. Mo Qingyun was slightly surprised, but he did not think too much about it. He asked again, "How is the strength of the Dark Demon clan? Did you observe them clearly?" According to the person who reported the news, there are 2 advanced Sage Realm experts and many ordinary Sage Realm experts. After hearing Mo Qingyun's question, Qian Yulong reported the situation to Mo Qingyun. After knowing the strength of the Dark Demon clan, Mo Qingyun revealed a look of understanding and said, "There are 2 advanced Sage Realm experts. Although it is a little troublesome to deal with them, it is only a little troublesome." After understanding the strength of the Dark Demon clan, Mo Qingyun did not pay much attention to it and started to ask about other matters. After informing Qian Yulong about the current situation in Thousand Language City, Mo Qingyun and Qian Linglong left. After leaving the Thousand Language Palace, Missouri Qingyun went directly to the Precious Treasure Pavilion to check on the progress of the Precious Treasure Pavilion branch. Mo Qingyun chatted with Zheng Ping for a while and found out everything about the Precious Treasure Pavilion branch. Everything was progressing smoothly and the branch would be open in a few days. After reporting to Mo Qingyun about the Precious Treasure Pavilion, the chief steward frowned slightly and said, "Mr. Mo, Sect Master Chen Huangyi of the Bloodsword Sect came to look for you a few days ago. Do you want to meet him?" Sect Master Chen came to look for me? Mo Qingyun was shocked when he heard the chief steward's report. He thought to himself, "Sect Master Chen is a good person. He must have something important to discuss with me. I will go and meet him." Mo Qingyun pondered for a moment and made a decision. He was prepared to meet Chen Huangyi. After saying that, Mo Qingyun left the Precious Treasure Pavilion and went to the Bloodsword Sect to look for Chen Huangyi. After a short while, Mo Qingyun arrived outside the Bloodsword Sect and asked the guard to pass a message to him. Chapter 2140. In the conference hall of the Bloodsword Sect. What? Mo Qingyun came to the Bloodsword Sect? Chen Huangyi revealed a shocked expression when he heard the message from the guards. He was quite shocked by this news. He never thought that Mo Qingyun would take the initiative to visit him. This was too unexpected. After calming down the shock in his heart, Chen Huangyi no longer hesitated and immediately went to welcome Mo Qingyun. Before he saw Mo Qingyun, he still didn't dare to believe that Mo Qingyun would personally visit him. Not long after, Chen Huangyi saw Mo Qingyun waiting outside under the guidance of the guards. "Mr. Mo, you're here. Please come in." Seeing Mo Qingyun waiting outside, Chen Huangyi revealed a warm smile and invited Mo Qingyun in. Seeing Chen Huangyi's actions, Mo Qingyun nodded with a faint smile. His impression of Chen Huangyi had improved by a lot. No matter what, Chen Huangyi was the first true friend he had in Thousand Word City. Perhaps it was because of the deaths of Chen Lin and Chen Yu, but Chen Huangyi brought Mo Qingyun into the Bloodsword Sect and didn't bring him to the conference hall. After bringing Mo Qingyun into the Bloodsword Sect, Chen Huangyi directly brought Mo Qingyun back to his residence. As if he was worried that someone would eavesdrop on their conversation, Chen Huangyi returned to his courtyard and brought Mo Qingyun into his secret room. Seeing Chen Huangyi's actions, Mo Qingyun's expression became serious. He felt that something was wrong. At the same time, he also understood why Chen Huangyi was looking for him. From the looks of it, Chen Huangyi must have something important to talk to him about. Secmaster Chen, I heard that you were looking for me. May I know why you were looking for me? Seeing that Chen Huangyi had taken care of everything, Mo Qingyun didn't beat around the bush and directly asked. Hearing Mo Qingyun's question, Chen Huangyi's expression immediately turned solemn. He said in a deep voice, "Have you accidentally offended any hidden enemies recently?" After his previous conjecture, Chen Huangyi was 100% sure that the two of them were not killed by Mo Qingyun. Even if it was related to Mo Qingyun, it was not his original intention. More importantly, Chen Huangyi wanted to find the culprit, not kill Mo Qingyun, the scapegoat. Hidden enemies? Hearing Chen Huangyi's words, Mo Qingyun's brows furrowed as he quickly recalled. Mo Qingyun thought for a moment and thought of a candidate. He looked solemnly at Chen Huangyi and said, Secmaster Chen, I won't hide it from you. If I've offended an enemy in the dark, it might be your protector. Protector Tian. Hearing Mo Qingyun's words, Chen Huangyi's body trembled as if he had been struck by lightning. He thought to himself, could it be that the deaths of Lin and Mo Qingyun? Chen Huangyi was able to create the Bloodsword sect and was naturally not a fool. On the contrary, his intelligence far exceeded that of the average person. Hearing Mo Qingyun's words, he immediately thought of a possibility. The deaths of Chen Lin and Mo Qingyun could be Tang Sha's doing. He might want to use the deaths of Chen Lin and Mo Qingyun to get Chen Huangyi's help to carry out his plan against Mo Qingyun. Besides, the only person who benefited from the deaths of Chen Lin and Mo Qingyun was Tang Sha. As such, Tang Sha was the prime suspect. As for Mo Qingyun's other enemies, such as Jin Renhe, the Bloody Corpse Demon Sect, and the Heavenly Mandate Pavilion, they would not do such a thing. After this analysis, the culprit behind the deaths of Chen Lin and Mo Qingyun was most likely Tang Sha. Protector Tian, you are so vicious. After figuring out the crux of the matter, Chen Huangyi's expression became ferocious as he gritted his teeth and shouted angrily. Seeing Chen Huangyi's expression, Mo Qingyun was puzzled and asked, Sect Leader Chen, what's wrong? Could it be that you have encountered some trouble? Under Mo Qingyun's questioning, Chen Huangyi suppressed the anger in his heart and looked curiously at Mo Qingyun. He asked, Mr. Mo, forgive me for asking, but what kind of enmity do you have with Protector Tian? When Chen Huangyi said this, his expression was filled with anticipation as well as a trace of grief and indignation. Seeing Chen Huangyi's expression, although Mo Qingyun was puzzled, he could feel that Chen Huangyi did not have any ill intentions. After realizing this, Mo Qingyun organized his thoughts and explained simply, the enmity between Protector Tian and me is a little complicated. It has to be explained from his identity. He is the ancestor of the Tang lineage of the Heavenly Soul Demon Clan. Initially, he attacked me mainly to avenge his juniors. Later on, he took a fancy to a magic treasure on my body and began to think of ways to kill me. As a result, he even hurt my lover. Following this, Mo Qingyun roughly explained the course of events. Protector Tian is really too shameless. In order to deal with a junior, he actually resorted to such unscrupulous means. After hearing Mo Qingyun's explanation, Chen Huangyi was even more certain that the person who killed Chen Lin and her lover was Tang Sha. For Tang Sha to commit such a shameless act, it was not strange that he would kill Chen Lin and her lover in order to deal with Mo Qingyun. After giving a simple explanation to Chen Huangyi, Mo Qingyun revealed a curious expression and asked, Sect Master Chen, what kind of trouble did you encounter? If you trust me, you can tell me. Perhaps I can be of some help. Mo Qingyun had a good impression of Chen Huangyi. If he could help the other party, he did not mind lending a helping hand. Mr. Mo, thank you very much. Hearing Mo Qingyun's words, Chun Huangyi revealed a grateful expression. After hesitating for a moment, he said, "The situation is like this. A few days ago, my son and daughter returned, who knew that when they were strolling around the city, they were secretly killed. In the end, their bodies were actually in your guest room. Later on, after hearing Protector Tion's explanation, I developed a hatred for you and asked Protector Tion to ambush and kill you." At this moment, Chun Huangyi revealed all of Tang Sha's plans. After hearing Chun Huangyi's words, Mo Qingyun's heart sank. An intense apologetic expression surfaced on his face as he said, "Sect Leader Chun, I am really very sorry about this matter. I did not know that because of some reasons, I actually caused your son and daughter to be killed. From Mo Qingyun's point of view, if he had directly killed Tang Sha that day, this matter would not have happened. Mo Qingyun, this is Lin, and Yuer's fate. It cannot be blamed on you." Hearing Mo Qingyun's apologetic words, Chun Huangyi's hatred towards Mo Qingyun immediately lessened by a lot. He said, "If you really want to blame someone, you can only blame me for having bad taste. I actually used someone like Protector Tion." After conversing with Chun Huangyi, Mo Qingyun's expression became serious. With a resolute expression, he said, "Sect Leader Chun, don't worry. Although I am unable to revive your son and daughter, but for the two of them, I will definitely avenge them." "Thank you, Mr. Mo." Hearing Mo Qingyun's guarantee, Chun Huangyi once again expressed his gratitude. The corners of his eyes could not help but moisten. Chapter 2141. Mo Qingyun and Chun Huangyi's conversation lasted for several hours before they finally stopped. After his conversation with Chun Huangyi ended, Mo Qingyun did not stay any longer and immediately left the Bloodsword sect. Leaving the Bloodsword sect, Mo Qingyun's expression was extremely ugly. His fists were tightly clenched as he angrily said, "Tang Sha, you deserve to die. In order to deal with me, you actually implicated innocent people." At this moment, Mo Qingyun's killing intent towards Tang Sha had reached an unprecedented level. Tang Sha was the type of person he hated the most, implicating innocent people with his hatred. Suppressing the anger in his heart, Mo Qingyun returned to the Treasure Pavilion to attend the couple's funeral. Not long after Mo Qingyun left, Tang Sha arrived at Chun Huangyi's courtyard. Looks like he already knew that Mo Qingyun would be coming. At this moment, Tang Sha's expression was extremely ugly, as if he was unhappy that Chun Huangyi was meeting Mo Qingyun alone. Entering Chun Huangyi's courtyard, Tang Sha's eyes flashed with a cold light as he unhappily reprimanded, "Master, our allies are already here. It's not good for you to meet Mo Qingyun in private. If they misunderstand, there will be a lot of trouble." At this moment, Tang Sha's words clearly carried a hint of warning. Seeing Tang Sha's attitude, Chun Huangyi was immediately displeased. His expression darkened as he scolded, "Guardian Tian, please take note of your status. You have no right to control how I do things." Seeing Chun Huangyi's anger, Tang Sha's body trembled as he realized that he had gone overboard. No matter what, Chun Huangyi was the master of the Bloodsword sect and was the most important person in the Bloodsword sect. He was only a guardian of the Bloodsword sect, but now he was trying to control Chun Huangyi. This was obviously not very appropriate. Realizing that he had lost his composure, Tang Sha's expression immediately changed as he started to explain on behalf of Mo Qingyun, "Master, your subordinate only wanted to avenge young master and young mistress and did not mean to offend you. That Mo Qingyun has a glib tongue. You must not be fooled by him." Seeing Tang Sha's performance, Chun Huangyi's expression turned for the better as he nodded his head and said, "Guardian Tian, because of Lin and Yuer's deaths, my mood is not very good. If my tone earlier was overboard, I hope that you will not take it to heart. Sect Master, I can understand your feelings. If that's the case, I'll take my leave first." Seeing that he was unable to pry anything out of Chun Huangyi, Tang Sha did not stay any longer and directly took his leave. Looking at Tang Sha, who was gradually walking away, Chun Huangyi's gaze immediately turned cold and gloomy as he secretly raged. Teng Sha, the enmity of killing my son and daughter is absolutely irreconcilable. During Lin, and Er's funeral, I will definitely personally kill you. Seeing Teng Sha's performance, Chun Huangyi was even more certain of his conjecture. He was already 90% sure that the murderer of Chun Lin and Chun Yu was his blood-sword sex guardian Tian. After leaving Chun Huangyi's side, Teng Sha went to meet the people from the Dark Demon race. A fawning expression surfaced on his face as he said, Lord Zirong, I've already gone to inquire. Chun Huangyi met Mo Qingyun because Mo Qingyun suddenly came and he had to deal with Mo Qingyun. Hearing Teng Sha's words, a burly man's expression turned for the better as he said, That's the best. If you dare to play any tricks, don't blame this old man for not giving you any face. Yes. Under Zirong's warning, Teng Sha hurriedly nodded his head in response, with the attitude of a dog servant. Seeing Teng Sha's respectful attitude, Zirong's expression turned for the better as he looked towards the other late-stage Sage Realm expert and said, Zitong, how is Master Wen Yue's formation going? In order to prevent Mo Qingyun from leaving Thousand Language City, we must speed up the progress. Soon. It should be completed by the day after tomorrow. Zitong replied indifferently when he heard Zirong's question. He had a hesitant expression as he said, I just received news from the main clan that the Cloud Sky Saint has also come to the 1,000 Illusions. It seems that he's also here to deal with Mo Qingyun. Should we wait for the Cloud Sky Saint to come? No need. Zirong rejected Zitong's question without hesitation. He said in a deep voice, The Cloud Sky Saint has just obtained a powerful bloodline and is preparing to plant it. By the time he arrives, Mo Qingyun might have already left. In order to prevent any accidents from happening, it's better for us to act first. That's true. Zitong nodded his head when he heard Zirong's analysis. He felt that Zirong's analysis made sense. Zirong and the others chatted for a while before they left the room and headed toward the plaza in the Bloodsword sect. At that moment, the plaza was filled with white wreaths and 2 coffins made of black iron. It seemed that this was the place where the 2 of them would be holding their funerals. After Zirong and the others arrived, he began to make arrangements to deal with Mo Qingyun. In the blink of an eye, 2 days passed. A Bloodsword sect disciple came to the treasure pavilion to inform Mo Qingyun to attend the 2 of them's funerals. After hearing the disciple's message, Mo Qingyun did not hesitate and immediately went over with Qian Linglong. Before Mo Qingyun left for the Bloodsword sect, he had sent the Thousand Language Manor and Gold Punishment Palace's people to the Fortune mainland. This was to make it easier for the Gold Punishment Palace and Thousand Language Manor's people to join the battle. A short while later, Mo Qingyun arrived at the funeral plaza under the guidance of the Bloodsword sect's disciple. Chun Huangyi and the others were already waiting there. Each of them had a strange expression on their faces, as if they had ulterior motives. Many people looked at Mo Qingyun with eyes that were filled with intense, killing intent. Mo Qingyun surveyed his surroundings. He discovered that there were many powerful auras hidden among the ordinary disciples in the surroundings. If he guessed correctly, these people should be the Dark Devil Tribe's people, and they were here to deal with him. After ascertaining the situation, Mo Qingyun ignored them and went up to burn incense for Chun Lin and Qian Linglong. Although Chun Lin and Qian Linglong were not killed by him, they had died because of him. It was only right to burn incense for them. Mo Qingyun, you killed the young lord and young miss. Obediently admit your guilt and pay with your life. Seeing that Mo Qingyun had finished burning the incense, Teng Sha slowly walked out and scolded Mo Qingyun. Hearing Teng Sha's words, the corners of Mo Qingyun's mouth curved into a cold sneer. His eyes were filled with mockery as he said, Teng Sha, your ability to cry thief is getting better and better. In order to deal with me, you actually did such a heartless thing. It seems like your Teng bloodline's despicable, shameless, and lowly nature has been passed down from generation to generation. Mo Qingyun, shut up. Hearing Mo Qingyun's insults, Teng Sha immediately bellowed, expressing his anger. Mo Qingyun did not care about Teng Sha's anger. He looked at Chen Lin and Qian Linglong's memorial tablets and said, "The two of you can rest in peace. Soon, the people who killed you will be buried with you." Chapter 2142. Under Mo Qingyun's aura, Teng Chai's body trembled visibly, showing signs of fear. He was well aware of Mo Qingyun's strength. He was definitely not someone he could fight against. Under Mo Qingyun's full power, he could not even take one blow from Mo Qingyun. With regards to Teng Sha's terrified expression, Mo Qingyun did not pay any attention to it. Instead, he turned his head to look at Chen Huangyi and said, "Sect leader Chen, I will give you an answer now. Tell me if Chen Lin and the other person were killed by him." Demonic I seize his soul. As soon as Mo Qingyun finished speaking, a cold light flashed in his eyes, and a terrifying soul power erupted from his body. When this soul power erupted, it condensed into a huge eyeball that emitted a dazzling light. This light burst out and enveloped Teng Chai, tearing at her soul. Demonic I seize his soul. Seeing Mo Qingyun's attack, Teng Chai immediately recognized this remarkable ability and knew what Mo Qingyun was going to do. She panicked and said, "Mo Qingyun, don't you think you can get the cause of Chen Lin and her companion's death from me?" Before Teng Chai could finish speaking, a small figure appeared on top of his head. This was Teng Chai's primordial spirit being pulled out. Seeing Teng Chai's primordial spirit being forcefully pulled out, Chen Huangyi's expression trembled and his eyes were filled with shock. With Teng Chai's cultivation at the peak of the initial stage of the Saint Plane, she could not resist Mo Qingyun's attack at all. Mr. Mo's strength has reached such a level. Only at this moment did Chen Huangyi truly experience how formidable Mo Qingyun's strength was. Seeing Mo Qingyun's strength, Chen Huangyi finally understood why the Blood Corpse Demon Sect and the Heavenly Mandate Pavilion were destroyed. Immediately, he felt a sense of relief. Fortunately, he did not take the risk to seek revenge on Mo Qingyun. Otherwise, the consequences would be unimaginable. He would not have the slightest chance of survival. When Teng Chai's primordial spirit was torn out, she showed a painful and panicked expression and shouted, "Commander Zirong, please hurry up and save me." However, before Teng Chai could finish her words, his consciousness blurred and he began to narrate some of his actions. Seeing Teng Chai's performance, Chen Huangyi's expression became dignified, mixed with some tension. At this moment, the answer to whether Teng Chai had killed Chen Lin and Chen Lin was about to be revealed. After a short while, Teng Chai, under everyone's gaze, recounted his actions of killing Chen Lin and the other person without missing a single detail. "Teng Chai, it's really you." Hearing the explanation from Teng Chai's primordial spirit, Chen Huangyi immediately roared and charged towards Teng Sha. Seeing that Chen Huangyi had attacked Teng Chai, Mo Qingyun removed his control over Teng Chai's soul. In Mo Qingyun's opinion, letting Teng Chai die without feeling anything was letting him off too lightly. He wanted Teng Chai to feel the feeling of death slowly approaching. He wanted him to die in the torture of his soul. Although Mo Qingyun had removed his control over Teng Chai's primordial spirit, he did not release his saint energy to give him the ability to resist. Then, Teng Chai, like a wooden puppet, stood rooted to the ground in a daze, allowing Chen Huangyi's palm to close in on her. Sect leader, please listen to my explanation." Seeing Chen Huangyi's palm closing in on her, Teng Chai's face was filled with fear and she hurriedly begged Chen Huangyi. However, Chen Huangyi chose to ignore her pleas. He could not wait to tear Teng Chai into pieces. Bam! Then, Chen Huangyi's palm landed on Teng Chai's chest and sent her flying. After receiving Chen Huangyi's full force palm, Chen Huangyi immediately spat out a mouthful of blood and his face turned pale. After being severely injured by Chen Huangyi's palm, Tung Chai's expression became even more flustered. She begged Zirong again. Commander Zirong, I'm the ancestor of the Tung lineage of the Heavenly Soul Demon clan. As long as you promise to save my life, I'm willing to help you take over the Heavenly Soul Demon clan. Seeing Tung Chai's actions, Mo Qingyun's expression turned cold. He said angrily, Tung Chai, you're so afraid of death that you're even willing to give up the inheritance of your ancestors just to save your own life. The inheritance of my ancestors? What a joke. If I don't even have my life, why would I still want the inheritance of my ancestors? Tung Chai did not care about Mo Qingyun's angry rebuke. She laughed maniacally and said, Moreover, the person who makes the decisions in the Heavenly Soul Demon clan is not my Tung lineage. Why would I care about the inheritance of my ancestors? Tung Chai's expression darkened even more when she said that. She said maniacally, with the hatred between us, how can you tolerate my Tung lineage once you return to the Heavenly Soul Demon clan? Since I'm going to die either way, why should I think so much? What a crazy idea. Chen Huangyi could not help but shake his head when he heard Tung Chai's words. He understood that the two of them had been implicated. With Tung Chai's crazy personality, it was not strange for her to try to kill the two of them. Fellow Tung Chai, a wise man submits to circumstances. That's right for people like you. Compared to Mo Qingyun's anger, Zirong smiled proudly. He praised Tung Chai and said, Don't worry. Once my light envelopes the Heavenly Soul Demon clan, you'll be in charge of everything in the Heavenly Soul Demon clan in the future. Thank you for your support, Commander Zirong. I'll definitely do my best to serve you. Tung Chai was pleasantly surprised when she heard Zirong's words. She pointed at Mo Qingyun and said, Commander Zirong, I have another important piece of news to report. Mo Qingyun has a supreme treasure from the outer world, the Gate of Destinies. The Gate of Destinies. Zirong and the others were stunned when they heard Tung Chai's words. Their faces were filled with shock. They had also heard of the rumors regarding the Gate of Destinies and knew how precious it was. It was said that the origin of this supreme treasure was related to a two-star realm. It was a huge secret. Soon after, the way Zirong and the others looked at Mo Qingyun changed drastically. After reporting to Zirong that Mo Qingyun had the Gate of Destinies, Tung Chai smiled coldly and said, Mo Qingyun, it won't be easy for you to kill me. Mo Qingyun was calm in the face of Tung Chai's arrogance. He said indifferently, Tung Chai, you're too naive if you think that these people can protect your life. Tung Chai's smile widened when she heard Mo Qingyun's words. She said proudly, Mo Qingyun, I know that you're powerful. However, I have to tell you that we've set up a great formation around you. We're waiting for you to walk right into our trap. Tung Chai revealed a maniacal smile after she finished speaking. It was as if she was certain that Mo Qingyun would die. Mo Qingyun smiled faintly when he heard Tung Chai's words. He said, Isn't it just the raging flame dragon's sacred formation? An ordinary intermediate offensive sacred formation can't do anything to me. Tung Chai and the others trembled when they heard Mo Qingyun's words. They couldn't think of a single possibility. Chapter 2143. Chen Huangyi, how dare you collude with Mo Qingyun? You're such a despicable person. Tung Chai shouted angrily at Chen Huangyi. She guessed that Chen Huangyi must have told Mo Qingyun about the array. Hearing Tung Chai's words, Mo Qingyun revealed a look of disdain and ridiculed. When it comes to being despicable, shameless, insidious, and cunning, who among these people can compare to you? Tung Chai. You. Hearing Mo Qingyun's words, Tung Chai was so angry that she was at a loss for words. Her body trembled with anger. Tung Chai immediately shut her mouth and did not argue with Mo Qingyun. She knew that she could not win against Mo Qingyun. Of course, the real reason why Tung Chai kept her mouth shut was that she did not dare to anger Mo Qingyun and cause Mo Qingyun to kill her at all costs. With Mo Qingyun's powerful strength, if he wanted to kill someone at all costs, no one could stop him. Humph! Boy, so what if you recognize the array? Do you think you can escape? Zirong didn't care too much about Mo Qingyun recognizing the array formation and spoke disdainfully. In his opinion, since Mo Qingyun had entered the array, it was impossible for him to leave. After Zirong finished speaking, he nodded at an elder and said, Master Wenyu, activate the Flaming Dragon's Sacred Array immediately and show him the power of the Flaming Dragon's Sacred Array. Okay. Hearing Zirong's order, Master Wenyu immediately responded and activated the Raging Flame Dragon Holy Formation. Following that, balls of intimidating fireballs appeared all around the square. When these fireballs appeared, they turned into small fire dragons and danced around the square. Seeing the fire dragons flying around, Chun Huangyi's expression turned serious. He stood beside Mo Qingyun in a panic. Sect Leader Chun, don't worry. Seeing Chun Huangyi's panicked expression, Mo Qingyun comforted him and said, Sometimes, even if you set up the array, you may not be able to control it. It may become someone else's weapon. Chun Huangyi did not understand the array Dao, so he did not feel much when he heard Mo Qingyun's words. However, Master Wenyu was different. When he heard Mo Qingyun's words, his face darkened, and he said angrily, Boy, from what you're saying, it seems like you want to take control of the Flaming Dragon's Sacred Array from my hands. Naturally, Master Wenyu did not think that Mo Qingyun do it. In his opinion, Mo Qingyun's words were just a form of humiliation. We'll know if I can do it or not. As soon as Mo Qingyun finished speaking, he no longer hesitated and immediately began to draw saint runes. Once the saint runes were formed, they emitted powerful array energy and flew into the Flaming Dragon's Sacred Array. When the saint runes entered the Flaming Dragon's Sacred Array, they instantly assimilated some of the array runes and cut off Master Wenyu's control. Seeing this, Master Wenyu was shocked and said in shock, You're actually an intermediate saint array master? Master Wenyu knew very well that if Mo Qingyun was not an intermediate saint array master, it would be impossible for him to do this. Hearing Master Wenyu's words, everyone was stunned. They could not believe what they had just heard. What? Mo Qingyun knows array Dao? Moreover, his attainments in array Dao are so high. His attainments in array Dao have reached the level of an intermediate saint array master. How'd he do it? Not good. Mo Qingyun wants to take control of the Flaming Dragon's Sacred Array. We must stop him immediately. What kind of monster is this boy? How can his talent be so terrifying? Seeing Mo Qingyun's shocking actions, Zirong and the others did not dare to hesitate and immediately moved to stop Mo Qingyun. Seeing Zirong and the others move, Mo Qingyun sneered and said, It seems a little too late to stop me now. As Mo Qingyun spoke, he waved his right hand and summoned the people of Thousand Language Manor and Gold Punishment Palace to help him block Zirong's attack. Soon, waves of powerful auras were emitted from Mo Qingyun's body. Sensing these auras, Zirong and the others' faces twitched. Panic appeared on their faces. They did not expect that Mo Qingyun would come to the Bloodsword sect with so many Saint Stage experts. This unforeseen event caught them off guard. They were not prepared for it. What a powerful lineup. Seeing the troops that Mo Qingyun had summoned, Chun Huangyi's eyes widened. He was so shocked that he could not speak for a long time. In just a short period of time, the shock that Mo Qingyun gave him grew stronger and stronger, to the point that he almost couldn't accept it. King Devourer and the others were summoned. They immediately blocked Zirong and the others and fought with them. Qian Linglong and the sky-devouring mermaid queen fought against Zirong and Zitong. They were locked in a fierce battle. Without the threat of Zitong and King Devourer, Jinrenha and the others had no pressure. They instantly suppressed the rest of the Dark Devil clan. It cannot be helped. The combined battle strength of Thousand Language Manor, Gold Punishment Palace, and Udihai was equivalent to double that of the Dark Devil clan. With such a great disparity in battle strength, it was difficult for Jinrenha and the others not to suppress their opponents. Seeing that no one went to stop Mo Qingyun, Master Wenyue's expression turned grave. He said coldly, "Kid, even if you have the attainments of a medium Saint Array Master, it will not be easy for you to take control of the Raging Flame Dragon's sacred array from me." "Take control?" Mo Qingyun smiled faintly. He shook his head and said, "There's no need to go through so much trouble. Once I kill you, I can easily take control of the array." Master Wenyue's face twitched when he heard Mo Qingyun's words. Fear appeared on his face. He said, "As a formation master, you choose to use force when fighting with another formation master. Do you still have the integrity of a formation master?" "Sorry, other than being a formation master, I'm also an alchemist and a weapon refiner. So, these rules are useless to me." Mo Qingyun smiled at Master Wenyue's words. He did not take it to heart at all. "You." Master Wenyue almost burst into tears when he heard Mo Qingyun's words. This was too much of a bully. Ignoring Master Wenyue's feelings, Mo Qingyun waved his hand and summoned Xuelong and Yin Peng. He said, "I have already taken control of a portion of the Raging Flame Dragon's sacred array. Quickly take control of the other portions." "Yes, Master." Xuelong and Yin Peng immediately responded and began to refine the Raging Flame Dragon's sacred array after hearing Mo Qingyun's instructions. Master Wenyue's eyes widened in disbelief when he saw Xuelong and Yin Peng appear. He could not believe that the two Saint Array masters he was familiar with had become Mo Qingyun's subordinates. Chapter 2144. Of course, what troubled Master Wenyue the most was Xuelong and Yin Peng's attainments and formations. If Xuelong and Yin Peng joined forces and fought for control of the Raging Flame Dragon sacred formation, he really wouldn't be able to stop them. Moreover, Mo Qingyun had freed up his hands. It was clear that he wanted to kill him. It could be said that he had fallen into a desperate situation. "Sacred Formation Master Xuelong, Sacred Formation Master Yin Peng, I didn't expect to meet the two of you here." Looking at Xuelong and Xueyu, Grandmaster Wenyue's face was filled with shock as he greeted them. Xuelong and Yin Peng were stunned when they heard Master Wenyue's words. They turned to look at Master Wenyue. "So it's Master Wenyue. Long time no see. I didn't expect that we would meet again under such circumstances." Xuelong and Yin Peng immediately recognized Master Wenyue when they saw him and greeted him. There were limited sacred formation masters on the wasteland continent. It was normal for Xuelong and Yin Peng to know Master Wenyue. Mo Qingyun wasn't in a hurry to make a move when he saw Xuelong and Yin Peng knew Master Wenyue. He planned to wait and see first. After exchanging a few pleasantries with Xuelong and Yin Peng, Master Yin Peng was puzzled. He asked, "Master Xuelong, Master Yin Peng, with your status, why did you acknowledge him as your master?" Xuelong rolled his eyes when he heard Master Wenyue's question. A crafty look appeared on his face. He said, "Master Wenyue, you don't know. Master is a man of great talent and vision. He's a rare master. Acknowledging him as our master is the wisest choice." Hearing Xuelong's words, Yin Peng immediately understood what Xuelong was thinking. He added, "Grandmaster Wenyue, you and I can be considered acquaintances. I have a word of advice for you. The Dark Devil race has committed a lot of unjust deeds, slaughtering countless lives on the savage continent. You can't help the evildoers. I advise you to abandon the darkness and seek the light." Master Wenyue's expression became complicated when he heard Yin Peng and Yin Peng's words. He fell silent. He knew what Yin Peng and Yin Peng were saying, but he had no choice. Seeing that Wenyue had gone silent, Xuelong exchanged glances and tried to persuade Wenyue. "Grandmaster Wenyue, in this old man's opinion, why don't you just submit to Master? You should be able to see your current situation. If you don't submit to Master, you can only nurse a grievance here." Hearing Xuelong's words, Wenyue's expression immediately changed, and her heart unconsciously thumped. What Xuelong said was true. If Mo Qingyun made a move against him, he would definitely be killed immediately. When she thought of this, Wenyue's expression tensed up and a sense of panic rose in her heart. What to do? Did he really have to submit to Mo Qingyun? At this moment, Master Wen Yu's heart was in a mess. His mind was rapidly weighing the pros and cons. Mo Qingyun's expression turned cold when he saw Wen Yue's expression changing. He said impatiently, Grandmaster Wen Yue, since Shui Long and the others have pleaded for you, I'll give you 3 breaths of time to consider. I hope you've thought it through. To Mo Qingyun, it would be best if Wen Yue was tactful enough to submit. Otherwise, he would not be courteous. More importantly, both sides were in the middle of a battle. Mo Qingyun did not have the time to waste with him. Hearing Mo Qingyun's words, Wen Yue's body trembled. Her expression became even more panicked. She could tell that Mo Qingyun was not joking with her. Mo Qingyun would really kill her. Seeing Mo Qingyun getting closer and closer, Wen Yue's face became paler and paler. She said in a panic, Young master, please show mercy. This old man is willing to submit to you. Under the pressure of Mo Qingyun's aura, Grandmaster Wen Yu finally chose to submit. Very good. Seeing Grandmaster Wen Yu's decision, Mo Qingyun smiled with satisfaction and instructed, All right, release your mind and let me brand your soul. Yes. Hearing Mo Qingyun's command, Wen Yue did not dare to refute. She immediately released her mind, following which, Mo Qingyun planted a soul brand in Wen Yue's soul. The 3 of you activate the formation and attack the Dark Devil race. After subduing Wen Yue, Mo Qingyun did not waste any more words and immediately ordered the 3 of them. As Mo Qingyun's words fell, his figure flashed and charged towards Zirong. He smiled and said, Commander Zirong, it seems like my words were not wrong. Sometimes, even if you set up a formation, it might not be your own weapon. While Mo Qingyun was speaking, Shui Long and the other 2 were controlling the formation and attacking the Dark Devil race. Seeing this scene, Zirong's expression changed greatly. He looked at Wen Yue in anger and berated, Wen Yue, you actually betrayed my clan. Have you thought of the consequences of doing so? Grandmaster Wen Yu chose to ignore Zirong's berating. It was as if she did not hear him at all. Consequences? He could not even keep his life, so what was the point of thinking about the consequences? Moreover, he was forced to work for the Dark Devil race. It was not his true intention. Now that he could use this opportunity to escape, it could not be better. What was there to think about? Seeing that Wen Yue was ignoring him, Zirong became even more furious. He released an intense killing intent and shouted, Traitor, you're courting death. As Zirong's words fell, his figure moved, and he was prepared to attack Wen Yue. Seeing Zirong's actions, a cold smile appeared on Mo Qingyun's face, and he chased after Zirong. Mo Qingyun's figure moved and blocked Zirong's path. He smiled faintly and said, Commander Zirong, didn't you come here to kill me? Why are you attacking someone else now? Mo Qingyun, don't be conceited. You can't escape from my clan. Seeing Mo Qingyun's actions, Zirong's face darkened, and he said furiously. As Zirong's words fell, he did not hesitate and immediately attacked Mo Qingyun. Seeing that Zirong was attacking him, not only did Mo Qingyun not care, he even said to Qian Linglong, who was beside him, Linglong, leave this guy to me. You go and help the King Devourer. Okay. Hearing Mo Qingyun's instructions, Qian Linglong nodded and went to help the King Devourer. The King Devourer had just broken through to the Advanced Sage Realm, so it was still a little difficult for him to deal with Zitong, who was at the Advanced Sage Realm. As for Jin Renhe and the others, they did not feel any pressure at all. Originally, their combat strength was much stronger than the Dark Devil race. Now that they had the help of Wen Yue and the other 2, it was even easier for them. Not only that, with the help of Wen Yue and the other 2, they had already killed a few experts from the Dark Devil race. At this rate, it would not be long before all the experts from the Dark Devil race were killed. Seeing that his men were being killed continuously, Zirong's face turned ugly, and he realized that something was wrong. If this continued, they would not be able to kill Mo Qingyun. They might even be wiped out here. Chapter 2145. You're already at the end of your rope. Just accept your death. Mo Qingyun looked down at Zi Rong from above, fully displaying the demeanor of an emperor. Mo Qingyun waved his arm, and 81 ancient swords appeared, forming an imposing sword array. Once the sword array was formed, the 81 ancient swords rushed towards Zi Rong like dragons emerging from the sea. Facing the onslaught of the 81 ancient swords, Zi Rong immediately panicked and used all his strength to block the ancient swords. Fire of civilization, Emperor Seal, spiritual eyes. While controlling the sword array to attack Zi Rong, Mo Qingyun's left eye flashed red, and a flame soul seal shot out. The flame soul seal flew out from his eye and disappeared in a flash, instantly entering Zi Rong's sea of consciousness. This is the fire of civilization. Zi Rong immediately screamed after being attacked by the Emperor Seal's spiritual eyes. His face turned pale. Immediately after, his aura weakened. Obviously, he was heavily injured by Mo Qingyun's attack. The moment Zi Rong's miserable cry came out, it attracted the attention of the surrounding people, startling all of them quite badly. Mr. Mo's strength is really unfathomable. Seeing Mo Qingyun heavily injuring Zi Rong, Chen Huangyi could not help but sigh. A bitter smile appeared on his face as he said, "Back then, I actually wanted to recruit him into the Bloodsword sect. I really did not recognize Mount Tai." Thinking of the Bloodsword sect's strength, and then looking at Mo Qingyun's battle strength, Chen Huangyi felt a sense of irony. Master is so strong. Even Zi Rong could not withstand 3 moves from him. Seeing Mo Qingyun's strength, when you immediately felt lucky. Luckily, Xue Long and Xue Sha had pleaded for him. Otherwise, if he were to fight Mo Qingyun head-on, he would be killed by Mo Qingyun for nothing. How? How can this be? How can his innate superpower be so strong? Seeing Mo Qingyun execute the Emperor Madras Spirit Eyes, Tung Sha's face was filled with jealousy as he gritted his teeth and roared in anger. He had also mastered the Imperial Seal Spirit Eyes, but the power he unleashed was incomparable to Mo Qingyun's. This huge contrast caused Tung Sha's heart to feel extremely uncomfortable, as if a huge rock was pressing down on it. More importantly, once Zi Rong was killed by Mo Qingyun, no one would be able to protect him. The more Tung Sha thought about it, the more afraid he became, his face paling, his expression changing as he thought to himself, "No, I cannot stay here any longer. I must think of a way to leave this place." The moment this thought appeared in Tung Sha's mind, he stealthily retreated from the battle and tried to think of a way to escape from the array. But what made Tung Sha despair was that before he could think of a solution, a mocking voice sounded out. "Tung Sha, do you think that under such circumstances, you can still escape?" Mo Qingyun, you and I do not have much enmity between us. Why must you be so ruthless? Seeing that his thoughts had been seen through, Tung Sha's face was filled with panic as he begged Mo Qingyun for mercy. "Give me a chance to turn over a new leaf. I will let the entire Tung faction serve you from today onwards. How about that? Do you think that I need the power of the Tung faction?" Hearing Tung Sha's words, Mo Qingyun's expression was one of disdain as he countered with a question. "Let me tell you clearly, the reason why I have not killed you is because it is a form of punishment for you. I want you to experience the feeling of death slowly approaching." When he heard Mo Qingyun's words, Tung Sha's body immediately trembled as a look of despair filled his face. He finally understood why no one had attacked him all this while. It was because they wanted to use this opportunity to torture him. "Mo Qingyun, you are vicious." After knowing Mo Qingyun's intentions, Tung Sha's face was filled with madness as he gnashed his teeth and stared furiously at Mo Qingyun. With regards to Tung Sha's rage, Mo Qingyun did not seem to mind at all as he said disdainfully, "In terms of viciousness, everyone here added together cannot even compare to you. Tung Sha, you had better die obediently." When he saw that Mo Qingyun dared to divert his attention to speak with Tung Sha while fighting with him, Zirong immediately felt a sense of humiliation. Mo Qingyan did not see through him at all. After all, he was still a sage late-stage expert. Kid, you actually dare to divert your attention while fighting with me. You are courting death. Zirong shouted angrily as his attacks became more ferocious, as if he wanted to fight to the death with Mo Qingyan. Mo Qingyan puckered his lips when he saw Zirong's actions, and he said, I think the one who's courting death isn't me. Mo Qingyan, it's you, Zirong. If I concentrate on dealing with you, you'll only die even faster. Since you are so eager to die, I will fulfill your wish. After Mo Qingyan finished speaking, his expression became serious, and he stopped playing around with Zirong. Following which, the aura that Mo Qingyan exuded immediately became much more ferocious. Fire of civilization, heavenly demon star, splitting palm. Mo Qingyan flipped his palm, and the flames on his palm surged, emitting a terrifying heat wave. Following which, a huge flaming palm shadow blasted out from Mo Qingyan's palm. Under the suppression of the flaming palm, the terrifying heat wave emitted from the palm enveloped Zirong. Under the impact of the heat wave, Zirong's clothes were instantly burnt to ashes and his body was burnt red. Feeling the pain from his body, Zirong screamed again and his face was contorted in agony. At the same time, he looked at Mo Qingyan with intense fear in his eyes. He finally understood why the Dark Demon Tribe was willing to pay any price to kill Mo Qingyan. This boy was too monstrous. A mere 9 heavens, Xian Immortal had such terrifying combat strength. When he broke through to the Saint Realm, he would be even more powerful. At that time, it would be impossible for the Dark Demon Tribe to unify the Wildland continent. Mo Qingyan alone could wipe out the entire Dark Demon Tribe. It would be good enough if they could keep their lives. Just as Zirong's face was filled with fear, the huge flaming palm arrived above his head and pressed down on him with earth-shattering might. Golden Spear, Iron Horse, Rising Dragon Break. When he saw the flaming palm approaching, Zirong didn't dare hesitate in the slightest and immediately made a move to block this palm. Zirong clenched his fists and the gloves on his hands flashed with golden light, forming the shadow of Iron Horse. Break! Zirong shouted angrily and made a gesture of blocking the river with his iron arm. The golden light on his body suddenly surged to the extreme. Immediately, the Iron Horse shadow, formed by Saint Power, rushed toward the flaming palm and blocked its attack. Roar! As the Iron Horse shadow rushed forward, golden dragon shadows burst out from Zirong's body and rushed toward the flaming palm. Under the double impact of the Iron Horse shadow and the golden dragon shadow, the flaming palm was blocked and stopped in midair, unable to move an inch further. Even so, Zirong's situation was not optimistic. He was bearing the impact of the fire of civilization. Looking at Zirong, it seemed that he would not be able to hold on for long. Chapter 2146. Mo Qingyan grabbed the air and summoned the Tiger Soul. He waved his arm and slashed at Zirong. Ghost Shadow Slash. Mo Qingyan waved the Tiger Soul and released a sharp aura. A dazzling saber radiance blasted out. When the saber radiance slashed out, 9 illusions that looked like Mo Qingyan appeared around Mo Qingyan. At the same time, he slashed at Zirong with his saber. Dazzling saber radiances attacked Zirong from different directions. At that moment, Zirong was resisting the flaming palm and had no energy to dodge the Ghost Shadow Slash. Thus, Zirong could only watch helplessly as the attacks of Mo Qingyan and the 9 doppelgangers slowly approached him. No, Zirong was unwilling to accept the attack from Mo Qingyan and the illusions. He shouted loudly. Then, Zirong's body was pierced by the saber radiance. Hideous wounds appeared on his body. As the wounds appeared, Zirong's aura began to weaken. Soon, it disappeared completely. When Zirong's aura disappeared, he fell to the ground with his eyes wide open. Plop! Zirong's body fell to the ground with a deep thud. A large cloud of dust rose. Seeing this scene, the surrounding people were all stunned. Their expressions kept twitching. This can't be real. Commander Zerong is an expert in the Mastery Saint realm. How could he be killed by Mo Qingyan? Commander Zerong is dead. We're doomed. We're all going to die here. It's all Zerong's fault for being arrogant. If he had waited for the Cloud Sky Saint's son, things wouldn't have turned out this way. Seeing Zerong killed by Mo Qingyun, the Dark Demon tribe members had mixed feelings. Hiss. Compared to the Dark Demon race, Chun Huangyi sucked in a breath of cold air. Zerong's cultivation is at the advanced stage of the Purple Rong Saint stage. He was killed by young Master Mo in just a few moves. How terrifying. At this moment, Chun Huangyi was completely convinced by Mo Qingyun. Impossible. It's only been 10 years or so. How could he have grown to this extent? Looking at the lifeless Zerong on the ground, Tung Sha's face revealed a crazed expression, unable to accept this reality. He was very clear that Zerong being killed by Mo Qingyun indicated that he would not live for long either. Mo Qingyun did not pay attention to everyone's shock. His figure flashed as he charged towards Zitong, saying, "King Devourer, Ling Long, leave this person to me. You two go deal with the others." "All right, yes." After hearing Mo Qingyun's instructions, Qian Linglong and Qian Linglong responded and went to deal with the others. Seeing Mo Qingyun come to deal with him, Zitong's face twitched, and a strong sense of fear appeared on his face. Compared to Zerong, his strength was a level lower. Even Zerong was not Mo Qingyun's opponent, let alone Zitong. After understanding the gap between himself and Mo Qingyun, Zitong was unwilling to fight with Mo Qingyun. With a fearful expression, he said, "Mo Qingyun, the Cloud Sky Saint, is at the 1,000 illusions. Don't go too far. Otherwise, the Cloud Sky Saint will not let you go. He will definitely chase you to the ends of the earth." Zian Shao? Mo Qingyun smiled contemptuously, a cold light flashing in his eyes as he said, "Even if he doesn't come to me, I will not let him go. After I kill all of you, I will go to the 1,000 Illusions' main clan to find him." Hearing Mo Qingyun's words, Zitong's body clearly trembled. He knew that Mo Qingyun was not joking. After exchanging a few words with Zitong, Mo Qingyun no longer paid attention to him and directly attacked. Fire of Civilization. Imperial Seal killing Spiritual Eye. A terrifying flame energy condensed in Mo Qingyun's left eye, forming a Flame Soul Seal. The Flame Soul Seal blasted out from Mo Qingyun's left eye. In a flash, it blasted into Zitong's sea of consciousness. After being bombarded by the Flame Soul Seal, Zitong immediately screamed and his face turned pale. At the same time, Zitong's consciousness fell into chaos as he used all his strength to resist the impact of the Flame Soul Seal. While Zitong was resisting the impact of the Flame Soul Seal, he was stunned on the spot as if he had been petrified. Die. Seeing Zitong's performance, Mo Qingyun did not show any mercy and directly slashed at his head. Under Mo Qingyun's attack, Zitong did not have the slightest awareness and his head was directly cut open by the Tiger Soul. Then, Zitong followed in Zerong's footsteps and was killed by Mo Qingyun's blade. His body fell from midair. Even Commander Zitong is dead. This time, we are really dead. Seeing that Zitong was also killed, the morale of the Dark Demon clan fell. Their faces were filled with despair and their hearts were like dead ashes. Then, the fighting power displayed by the Dark Demon clan immediately fell by a lot. They were already at a disadvantage in terms of strength. Now that their morale had fallen and their fighting power was greatly reduced, their situation immediately became worse. In a short while, the Dark Demon clan was completely annihilated and only Tung Sha was left. Mo Qingyun, what do you want? Seeing that the people around him were all dead, Tung Sha's face was filled with terror as his gaze swept across Mo Qingyun and the rest. He knew very well that the reason why he was still alive was because Mo Qingyun had specially instructed him to do so. Hearing Tung Sha's question, Mo Qingyun's expression turned cold as he replied, "What do I want? Didn't I say it very clearly before? I want you to feel death slowly approaching, and I want you to die in the torture of death. After Mo Qingyun finished speaking, he did not hesitate and immediately attacked Teng Sha. Facing Mo Qingyun's attack, Teng Sha was naturally not his match. In a blink of an eye, his cultivation was crippled. After crippling Teng Sha's cultivation, Mo Qingyun didn't kill him. Instead, he turned to Chen Huangyi and said, "Sect leader Chen Lin, and Chen Yu died because of me. Now that I'm handing Teng Sha over to you, it can be considered as me avenging them. On behalf of Lin and Yu I thank Mr. Mo." Seeing Mo Qingyun's actions, Chen Huangyi immediately expressed his gratitude and captured Teng Sha in his hands. From his point of view, for Mo Qingyun to be able to do this, it was already impeccable. "Teng Sha, today, I will use your blood to comfort Lin, and Yu's spirits in front of their memorial tablets." After capturing Teng Sha and bringing him in front of Chen Lin and Yu's memorial tablets, Chen Huangyi revealed an enraged expression as he raised his hand and smashed it towards Teng Sha's head. Under Chen Huangyi's palm, Teng Sha's eyes widened as he died with a face full of fear. When Chen Huangyi killed Teng Sha, King Devourer and the rest cleaned up the battlefield and removed the raging flame dragon's sacred array. "Sect leader Chen, since the matter has been settled, I should bid you farewell." Seeing that everything was settled, Mo Qingyun was not willing to stay any longer as he bid farewell to Chen Huangyi. With regard to Mo Qingyun's farewell, Chen Huangyi did not urge him to stay. Instead, he gestured for him to leave and said, "Mr. Mo, I will send you off." Chapter 2147. Since most of the Dark Demon Clan in Thousand Moon City have been eliminated, it's time to reclaim Thousand Moon City. Thinking that Zi Rong and the others have been killed, Mo Qingyun planned to go to Thousand Moon City and help Qian Linglong reclaim it. Hearing Mo Qingyun's idea, Qian Linglong's pretty face immediately lit up with joy. Her expression was filled with anticipation. If she could reclaim Thousand Moon City, her plan to reclaim the 1,000 illusions would be a step closer. When Qian Linglong thought of this, she was overjoyed. She couldn't wait any longer and said, "Qingyun, there are some roads to Thousand Moon City. Shall we go now?" Hearing Qian Linglong's question, Mo Qingyun shook his head and smiled faintly. He said, "There's no rush to go to Thousand Moon City. Let me set up a teleportation formation in Thousand Language City first. It won't be too late to go to Thousand Moon City then." "You want to set up a teleportation formation in Thousand Language City?" Hearing Mo Qingyun's idea, Qian Linglong was shocked. She was shocked by Mo Qingyun's plan. Given the distance between Thousand Moon City and Thousand Language City, it wasn't easy to set up a teleportation formation. However, thinking of Mo Qingyun's array skills and the help of Shui Long and the other two, she felt relieved. With Mo Qingyun and the other three's array skills, it wasn't difficult to set up a teleportation formation together. After briefly explaining the matter of setting up a teleportation formation to Qian Linglong, Mo Qingyun went to Thousand Language Residence. Setting up a teleportation formation wasn't a small matter. Choosing the location was very important. Thousand Language Residence was obviously the most suitable place. Previously, in the ancestral tomb of Thousand Language Residence, Mo Qingyun had set up a defensive array. That was undoubtedly the most suitable place. Back then, in the ancestral tomb of Thousand Language Residence, Mo Qingyun had this idea when he set up a powerful defensive array. Of course, before setting up a teleportation formation in the ancestral tomb of Thousand Language Residence, Mo Qingyun had to ask Qian Linglong and Qian Linglong for their thoughts. After a while, Mo Qingyun arrived at Thousand Language Residence and went straight to the conference hall. In the conference hall of Thousand Language Residence, "Master Qian Linglong, I've decided to set up a teleportation formation in Thousand Language Residence's ancestral tomb. You don't have any objections, right?" Mo Qingyun asked Qian Yulong's opinion as he sat at the top of the meeting hall. He wanted to see his attitude. No matter what, Qian Linglong had to respect of Qian Linglong's ancestral tomb. Teleportation formation. Upon hearing Mo Qingyun's idea, Qian Yulong was shocked. He knew how difficult it was to set up a teleportation array. At the same time, when he thought of Mo Qingyun's attainments and formations, he quickly felt relieved. It was the set to thousand god teleportation sect, residences formation, teleportation greats ancestral tomb to do its. If Mr. Mo sets up a teleportation formation, he'll definitely focus on protecting it. Maybe he'll even set up a defensive array. Thinking of the importance of the teleportation formation, Qian Linglong's mind spun quickly. He thought to himself, if Mr. Mo sets up a defensive array, the defensive power of the ancestral tomb will definitely increase. That doesn't seem to be a bad thing. With that thought, Qian Linglong no longer had any concerns. He quickly bowed to Mo Qingyun and said, I'll listen to Mr. Mo's arrangements. I have no objections. Qian Linglong was smart. Although he was thinking about it, he knew he couldn't make the decision. He didn't want to disrespect Mo Qingyun and follow in Qian Lingjiang's footsteps. In his opinion, Mo Qingyun was only asking for his opinion out of respect. However, the person who made the decision wasn't Qian Linglong, but Mo Qingyun himself. Okay. Seeing Qian Linglong's attitude, Mo Qingyun nodded in satisfaction. He got up and walked out of the hall. If that's the case, take me to the ancestral tomb. I'll set up the teleportation formation now. Yes. Qian Linglong responded immediately after hearing Mo Qingyun's order. He led the way for Mo Qingyun. After a while, Mo Qingyun arrived at the ancestral tomb of Qian Linglong again under Qian Linglong's lead. The ancestral tomb of Qian Linglong was very spacious. There were many empty places. Mo Qingyun chose to set up the teleportation formation. The dead should be respected. I'll set up the teleportation formation here. It's best not to disturb them. Mo Qingyun looked around the ancestral tomb. He found a place far away from the tomb to set up the teleportation formation. After choosing the location, Mo Qingyun summoned Shualong and the other two to discuss with him about setting up the teleportation formation. Mr. Mo, we'll take our leave first. Qian Linglong and the others left when they saw Mo Qingyun and the other three's actions. They didn't want to disturb Mo Qingyun and the other three. After a while, Qian Linglong and the others left the ancestral tomb and returned to the meeting hall. Elder of Qian Linglong, take some people and wipe out some of the forces in the city. Qian Linglong returned to the hall and began to order the people to wipe out some of the forces that refused to submit. Now that Mo Qingyun had wiped out the threats of the other three forces, it was time for Qian Linglong to regain control. Qian Linglong believed that with Jinrenha's wisdom and courage, he shouldn't stop them. In a true sense, they were Qian Linglong's family. They had been the masters of Qian Linglong since the ancient times. Mo Qingyun had no idea what Qian Linglong and the others were doing. He summoned Shualong and the other two and discussed with them about setting up the teleportation formation. Shualong and the other two were all intermediate Saint Array masters. It wasn't difficult for them to set up a teleportation formation. It was just that the teleportation formation that Mo Qingyun wanted to set up was a little far. It would take a lot of time. However, with Mo Qingyun and the other three working together, there would be a huge increase in speed. Yin Peng, you're in charge of forming Saint Runes and building the outline of the teleportation formation. Shualong, you're in charge of choosing materials and setting up the foundation and core of the formation. When you're in charge of perfecting the teleportation formation and combining the foundation, core, and Saint Runes. As for me, I'll be in charge of fixing some loopholes and finishing up. Seeing that everything was settled, Mo Qingyun instructed the other three and worked with them to set up the formation. After Mo Qingyun and the other three divided the work, he went back to his own work and focused on setting up the formation. Soon, the Saint Runes were formed by Yin Peng and placed in every corner of the teleportation formation. When Yin Peng placed the Saint Runes, Shualong took out various materials and placed them in the spots where the Saint Runes were placed. Slowly, the outline of the teleportation formation appeared. It emitted a powerful wave of formation power. Seeing the outline of the teleportation formation, Wen Yu didn't stay idle. She immediately perfected the teleportation formation. As for Mo Qingyun, he fixed and perfected some of the areas that he had missed. In the following period of time, everything proceeded in an orderly manner, neither too fast nor too slow. In the blink of an eye, 10 days had passed. Chapter 2148. It's finally done. Looking at the teleportation array before him, Mo Qingyun revealed a satisfied smile. He silently planned in his heart, when I reach Thousand Moon City, I will set up another teleportation array and link the two teleportation arrays together. Then, I will be able to teleport between the two cities. Mo Qingyun planned in his heart. He didn't continue to stay and walked out of the Thousand Words Residence's ancestral tomb. After coming out of the Thousand Words Residence's ancestral tomb, Mo Qingyun found Thousand Words long and gathered them in the meeting hall. After a short while, not only were the people from Thousand Words Residence there, but even Jin Rinhe and the rest were there. After gathering everyone, Mo Qingyun wanted to warn them again before he left. Soon, I will be heading to Thousand Moon City. Before I leave, I want to give you guys some instructions. Looking at everyone sitting in the hall, Mo Qingyun's expression turned solemn. He said in a deep voice, although Thousand Words City is stabilized, it doesn't mean that there is no need to worry. You guys still have to be careful. Hearing Mo Qingyun's words, Thousand Words long and the rest nodded one after another. They knew what Mo Qingyun was referring to. Now that it was the autumn of chaos, the wild continent was very unstable. Any unforeseen event could happen. Moreover, the Dark Devil race had suffered such a huge loss. It was impossible for them to let it go just like that. Seeing the change in everyone's expression, Mo Qingyun knew what they were thinking. He continued, when I'm not in Thousand Words City, if any external forces invade, hold back your troops first. Everything will be decided when I return. Yes. Hearing Mo Qingyun's instructions, Thousand Words long and the rest immediately responded and noted down Mo Qingyun's words. Without Mo Qingyun around, their combat strength would be greatly weakened. Holding back their troops was the best choice. After giving instructions to Thousand Words long and the rest, Mo Qingyun didn't stay any longer and left Thousand Words Residence. After Mo Qingyun left Thousand Words Residence, he wasn't in a hurry to go to Thousand Moon City. Instead, he made a trip to the Precious Treasure Pavilion. Arriving at the Precious Treasure Pavilion, Mo Qingyun inquired about the opening of the branch and asked about the progress of the branch. Mo Qingyun praised Zheng Ping and the others when he found out that the Treasure Pavilion had successfully opened for business. He was very satisfied with the result. Next, Mo Qingyun instructed Zheng Ping and the others to continue opening other branches. Mo Qingyun left Thousand Language City and set off for Thousand Moon City after he finished delegating all the matters. Leaving Thousand Language City, Mo Qingyun took out the flying boat and controlled the flying boat to hasten on the journey. It took 3 days for the flying boat to reach the vicinity of Thousand Moon City. All right, let's go in. When they arrived near Thousand Moon City, Mo Qingyun put away the flying boat and walked toward the city gate with Qianling Long. When Mo Qingyun arrived at the Thousand Moon City, he was not in a hurry to head to the Thousand Moon Prefecture. Instead, he was prepared to find an inn to stay in. It wouldn't be too late for them to head to the Thousand Moon Prefecture after they had rested for a while and took a look at the situation in Thousand Moon City. Eternal Moon Inn. Mo Qingyun walked to the inn and entered with Qianling Long. After entering the Eternal Moon Inn, Mo Qingyun found a corner and sat down. He casually ordered some food and wine. After ordering the food and wine, Mo Qingyun listened to the conversations of the people around him, hoping to get some useful information. Have you heard? The Thousand Moon Prefecture's patriarch, Qian Yuechong, has been imprisoned by Wu Ziheng. Wu Ziheng is too ruthless. How could he treat his father-in-law like that? Isn't he afraid of being struck by lightning? If it wasn't for Qian Yuechong's nurturing, Would he be where he is today? It can't be helped. He has the support of the Dark Demon tribe. He can do whatever he wants in Thousand Moon City. I heard that a few days ago, the Dark Demon tribe of Thousand Moon City went to Thousand Language City to quell the chaos. Speaking of which, the people of Thousand Language City are really powerful. They actually killed the Dark Demon tribe's experts. So what? The Dark Demon tribe is very powerful. What they did will only attract more Dark Demon tribe members. As Mo Qingyun listened, the conversations of the people around him flowed into his ears one after another. When he heard these people's words, Mo Qingyun frowned. He looked surprised and said, "It seems that the crisis Thousand Moon Prefecture is facing is worse than Thousand Language Prefecture." Although Mo Qingyun knew about Thousand Moon Prefecture's situation, he wasn't in a hurry to go there. Instead, he continued to listen to the conversations of the people around him. In his opinion, Rome wasn't built in a day. Thousand Moon Prefecture's situation wasn't something that happened in a day or two. He wanted to save Thousand Moon Prefecture, so he wasn't in a hurry. It wouldn't be too late to go there later. It seems that Thousand Moon Prefecture's Centennial Grand Ancestral Worship is tomorrow. I wonder if it will go smoothly. It is said that every time Thousand Moon Prefecture's Grand Ancestral Worship is held, the remnant spirits of their ancestors will be awakened to help the family eliminate some enemies. With Wu Ziheng's personality, he will definitely not allow Thousand Moon Prefecture to hold the Centennial Grand Ancestral Worship. Of course, what if the Centennial Grand Ancestral Worship awakens the remnant spirits of their ancestors? The conversations of the crowd entered Mo Qingyun's ears again. Thousand Moon Prefecture's Centennial Grand Ancestral Worship? When Mo Qingyun heard the conversations of the crowd, he was puzzled and curious. He turned to look at Qian Linglong. In his opinion, 1,000 Illusions' Centennial Grand Ancestral Worship was to worship the ancestors of the main family. When Qian Linglong saw Mo Qingyun looking at her, she immediately understood what he meant. She smiled at Mo Qingyun and said, "Qingyun, you don't know this. 1,000 Illusions' Grand Ancestral Worship is divided into the Grand Ancestral Worship and the Grand Ancestral Worship. The ordinary Grand Ancestral Worship is held once a year. The Grand Ancestral Worship is different. It will awaken the remnant spirits of the ancestors. Firstly, it will help the clan overcome its difficulties. Secondly, it will pass on the cultivation techniques of the younger generation. The Grand Ancestral Worship of Thousand Moon Prefecture is only to worship the ancestors of Thousand Moon Prefecture. It is not to worship the ancestors of the main family." I see. After listening to Qian Linglong's explanation, Mo Qingyun immediately understood the difference between the two. After understanding the situation, Mo Qingyun continued to listen to the conversations of the crowd. He wanted to familiarize himself with Thousand Moon City from them. About 2 hours later, Mo Qingyun and Qian Linglong finished eating. They did not continue to listen to the conversations of the crowd and returned to their room. "Qingyun, Thousand Moon Prefecture is in big trouble. Are we going over now?" Qian Linglong was a little anxious when she thought about Thousand Moon Prefecture's crisis. She wanted to go to Thousand Moon Prefecture immediately. After hearing Qian Linglong's words, Mo Qingyun pondered for a moment and said, "If there are no accidents, that Wu Ziheng will definitely obstruct Thousand Moon Prefecture from holding the Centennial Grand Ancestral Worship. We should go over and help them." When Mo Qingyun thought of this, he did not waste any more time and immediately set off for Thousand Moon Prefecture. Chapter 2149. The Eternal Moon Restaurant was not far from the Thousand Moon Mansion. It did not take long for Mo Qingyun and Qian Linglong to arrive at the Thousand Moon Mansion. The mansion of the Thousand Moon Mansion was magnificent. The buildings inside gave off a sense of vicissitudes. From this point of view, the Thousand Moon Mansion should have been built much earlier than the Thousand Language Mansion. At the same time, it also showed that the Thousand Moon Mansion had a stronger foundation. It was probably because of this that the Thousand Moon Mansion had the habit of worshiping their ancestors while the Thousand Language Mansion did not. When Mo Qingyun arrived outside the Thousand Moon Mansion, he took a look at the mansion and said to Qianling Long, "Let's go in quietly. Don't disturb the people of the Thousand Moon Mansion. It won't be too late to reveal our identities after tomorrow's worshipping ceremony." "All right." Qianling Long nodded when she heard Mo Qingyun's instructions. She agreed with his idea. After discussing with Qianling Long, Mo Qingyun looked at the mansion of the Thousand Language Mansion again to observe the mansion's mansion protective grand array. The defensive power of the Thousand Moon Mansion was much stronger than the Thousand Language Mansion. If they wanted to enter, they would have to break the mansion protective grand array. The Thousand Language Mansion's mansion protective grand array is actually a mid-level sane array. Moreover, it's one of the more advanced ones. After carefully observing the Thousand Moon Mansion's mansion protective grand array, Mo Qingyun discovered that it was extraordinary. He thought to himself, "It seems like I'll have to put in some effort to break the Thousand Moon Mansion's mansion protective grand array." Mo Qingyun muttered to himself. He summoned Shuai Long and the other two and asked them to help him break the formation. No matter what, Shuai Long and the other two were mid-level sane array masters. Their experience and vision were extraordinary. With their help, breaking the Thousand Moon Mansion's mansion protective grand array would be twice the result with half the effort. "The three of you, come and take a look at how to break this sane array." When Shuai Long and the other two appeared beside him, Mo Qingyun instructed them to study the Thousand Moon Mansion's mansion protective grand array. After hearing Mo Qingyun's words, Shuai Long and the other two did not dare to hesitate. They immediately studied the Thousand Moon Mansion's mansion protective grand array. This is the Sun-Moon Cycle Sacred Array. Sizing up the Thousand Moon Manor's protective grand formation, Wan Yue revealed an astonished expression. She recognized this formation. Hearing Wan Yue's words, Mo Qingyun was pleasantly surprised. He hurriedly asked, "Wan Yue, since you've recognized this formation, do you have any methods to break it?" Under Mo Qingyun's questioning, Wan Yue's brows furrowed tightly as she revealed an expression of contemplation. Seeing Wan Yu's performance, Mo Qingyun wasn't in a hurry. He quietly waited by the side. Wan Yu pondered for a moment, and a troubled expression appeared on her face. She replied, "Although the Sun-Moon Cycle Sacred Array is a mid-grade sacred array, its might and complexity are not inferior to a high-grade sacred array. It is a combination of a sun array and a moon array. It can absorb sunlight and moonlight, increasing the power of the array over time." After listening to Wan Yue's explanation, Mo Qingyun had a clear understanding of the Sun-Moon Cycle Sacred Array. After briefly explaining it to Mo Qingyun, Wan Yue's expression became even more solemn. She continued, "The Sun-Moon Cycle Sacred Array of Thousand Moon Manor has been set up for at least 1,000,000 years. Its might far surpasses ordinary high-grade sacred arrays. It's extremely difficult to break it. Its might is comparable to a high-grade sacred array." Hearing Wan Yue's words, Mo Qingyun's expression became even more solemn. He quickly pondered and said, "This is troublesome. Even if we enter the Thousand Moon Manor, our safety can't be guaranteed." Mo Qingyun believed that he didn't have full confidence in protecting himself when facing the attack of a high-grade sacred array. While Mo Qingyun was pondering, Wan Yue glanced at Mo Qingyun and the other two. She said, "If the four of us combine our strength, we should be able to tear a hole in the array before it changes into a moon array. We should be able to control the Sun-Moon Cycle Sacred Array. If that's the case, let's not waste any more time. Let's break the array immediately." Hearing Wan Yue's words, Mo Qingyun's expression immediately lit up. He couldn't wait and urged, "Wan Yue, you are familiar with the Sun-Moon Cycle Sacred Array. The three of us will follow your lead and assist you in breaking the array." If they could control a part of the Sun-Moon Cycle Sacred Array, he wouldn't have any more worries. At the very least, they could attack and retreat freely. "Yes." Hearing Mo Qingyun's words, Wan Yue immediately responded. She quickly condensed several sacred runes. When Wan Yue was making her move, Mo Qingyun swept his gaze across the surroundings. A thought appeared in his mind. Following that, Mo Qingyun began to set up an illusion array to conceal the 5 of them. 10 hours was too long. In order to avoid any unnecessary changes, it was best to set up an illusion array to isolate them. After a short while, Mo Qingyun finished setting up the illusion array and assisted Wen Yue in breaking the array. With the help of Mo Qingyun and the other 2, the progress of breaking the array was much faster than Wen Yue had expected. 6 hours later, Mo Qingyun and the other 3 took control of one of the bases of the Sun-Moon Reincarnation Sacred Cycle Formation. All right, let's go in. Seeing that a part of the Sun-Moon Cycle Sacred Array was controlled by him, Mo Qingyun took the opportunity to enter the Thousand Moon Mansion. Following that, Mo Qingyun and the other 4 entered the Thousand Moon Mansion and appeared in a remote corner. After entering the Thousand Moon Mansion, Mo Qingyun didn't immediately search the surroundings. Instead, he said to Wen Yue and the other 2, "The 3 of you stay here and continue to break the Sun-Moon Cycle Sacred Array. I will let the King Devourer stay behind to protect you. If you encounter any danger, don't fight it head-on. Leave the Thousand Moon Mansion first." As soon as Mo Qingyun finished speaking, he summoned the Sky-Devouring Mermaid Queen and asked her to protect Shui Long and the other 2. After explaining everything, Mo Qingyun and Qianling Long explored the Thousand Moon Mansion together. As they went deeper into the Thousand Moon Mansion, Mo Qingyun discovered that the strength of the Thousand Moon Mansion was much stronger than the Thousand Language Mansion. He discovered that there were 2 late Sage Realm experts in the Thousand Moon Mansion. This greatly shocked him. Fortunately, one of them had a weak aura, and his Saint Qi circulation was extremely chaotic. It seemed like he had suffered a serious injury. In addition to the 2 late Sage Realm experts, Mo Qingyun also discovered more than 10 intermediate Sage Realm experts and several early Sage Realm experts. No wonder they need Zi Rong and the others to guard this place. A late Sage Realm expert really can't suppress them. After walking for a while in the Thousand Moon Mansion, Mo Qingyun couldn't help but sigh inwardly after understanding the strength of the Thousand Moon Mansion. Immediately after, Mo Qingyun became even more careful, so as to not disturb them carelessly. After a short while, Mo Qingyun circled around the Thousand Moon Mansion and had a clear understanding of the Thousand Moon Mansion. He said, "All right, we have already figured out the basic situation of the Thousand Moon Mansion. Let's go to the Thousand Moon Mansion's ancestral tomb." The Grand Ancestor worship was different from ordinary worship. It required the awakening of the ancestor's remnant spirit. Therefore, it was held in the ancestral tomb. Chapter 2150. The Thousand Moon Mansion's ancestral tomb was located at the back mountain of the Thousand Moon Mansion. Mo Qingyun and Qianling Long quickly arrived. The area where the Thousand Moon Mansion's ancestral tomb was located was also within the range of the solar-lunar cycle sacred formation. Hence, there was no formation blocking them. When they arrived outside the Thousand Moon Mansion's ancestral tomb, Mo Qingyun and Qianling Long's footsteps did not stop and directly entered the Thousand Moon Mansion's ancestral tomb. Just as Mo Qingyun had guessed, the Thousand Moon Mansion's ancestral tomb was the Thousand Moon Mansion's ancestral tomb. At this moment, a spiritual altar had already been set up in the Thousand Moon Mansion's ancestral tomb. All kinds of sacrificial items were placed on top of it. "Miss Z, what if Wu Ziheng finds out that we're setting up a sacrificial altar here? Uncle Hong, if we want to get rid of this traitor Wu Ziheng, we can only borrow the power of our ancestors' remnant spirit. We have to take this risk. However, if he finds out, he might kill you in a fit of rage. I'm the one who lured this ingrate here. Even if I die, I won't let him off." When Mo Qingyun and Qianling Long entered the ancestral tomb, low voices entered their ears. Hearing these people's conversation, Mo Qingyun and Qianling Long's expressions changed. They immediately guessed the situation. It seemed that they were preparing the sacrificial items here in secret. However, if this was the case, it was unknown whether they could hide it from Wu Ziheng. Moreover, With Wu Ziheng's intelligence, it was not an easy task to hide from his eyes and ears. "Who are you?" The arrival of Mo Qingyun and Qian Linglong immediately attracted the attention of Qian Yuezi and the others, causing them to reveal hostile gazes. Immediately, Qian Yuezi and the others revealed a cold expression and emitted a strong, murderous intent. Judging from their appearance, they seemed to be planning to silence them and hide the matter. Seeing Qian Yuezi and the others' actions, Mo Qingyun smiled faintly. He knew what they were thinking. "Everyone, there's no need to be nervous. The two of us came here with no ill intentions. We just want to help you." Hearing Mo Qingyun's words, Qian Yuezi and the others' expressions turned better, but they still released killing intent. It was as if Mo Qingyun made the slightest mistake, they would mercilessly attack and kill Mo Qingyun's two personalities. Mo Qingyun didn't care about the attitude of Qian Yuezi and the others. He smiled faintly and said, "You've set up the sacrificial altar without any concealment. You won't be able to hide it from Wu Ziheng. With his cunning personality, he will definitely send people to inspect this place." Hearing Mo Qingyun's words, Qian Yuezi's face visibly trembled. Her worries had been pointed out by Mo Qingyun. Qian Yuezi said coldly, "This is our business." As the illusory array slowly took shape, the spiritual altar and items for the ancestral worship started to dissipate bit by bit. "The array is complete. He really didn't lie to us. He really came here to help us. With their help, the ancestral worship will go smoothly. The heavens are really protecting our 1,000-language mansion. They sent 2 experts to help us." Qian Yuezi and the others were pleasantly surprised when they saw Mo Qingyun's actions. They became excited. However, just as Qian Yuezi and the others were feeling excited, 3 black figures slowly approached them. They emitted 3 cold auras. Qian Yuezi and the others shuddered when they saw the 3 figures approaching. Their faces turned pale. Qian Yuehong, young Master Ziheng, has already made it clear that the ancestral worship is not allowed. How dare you go against his wishes? Madam, your actions will make young Master Ziheng very sad. Young Master Ziheng has said that no matter who dares to set up the ancestral worship site, they will be severely punished. Everyone, please excuse us." After the 3 of them finished speaking, they no longer hesitated and slowly walked toward Qian Yuezi and the others. Judging from their actions, it seemed like they were going to capture Qian Yuezi and the others and bring them to Wu Ziheng. As for Mo Qingyun and Qian Yuehong, they completely ignored them. He scolded the 3 of them. "Did I say you could leave?" Hearing Mo Qingyun's words, Li Jin and Qian Yuezi trembled. They looked at Mo Qingyun with fear and said, "Boy, don't push your luck. This won't do you any good. If you know what's good for you, don't meddle in 1,000 Moon Mansion's business." "Are you threatening me?" Hearing Li Jin's threat, the corners of Mo Qingyun's mouth curled up slightly. He pretended to be hesitant and said, "I'm most afraid of being threatened by others. In order to not be threatened by you, I can only deal with you." Hearing Mo Qingyun's words, Qian Yuezi and the others fainted. What kind of logic was this? He was afraid of being threatened and actually wanted to make a move on others. Was this reasonable? While Qian Yuezi and the others were dumbfounded, Mo Qingyun had already made his move. He charged towards Li Jin and the others. Seeing Mo Qingyun take the initiative to attack, Li Jin and Qian Yuezi immediately panicked. They wanted to abandon Zhang Yu and dodge. However, Mo Qingyun's speed was too fast. They didn't have the chance to dodge at all. Bang! Bang! 2 deafening sounds rang out. Following that, Li Jin and Shi Yuhe were sent flying. They fell heavily on the ground and became the same as Zhang Yu. Seeing this scene, Qian Yuezi and the others were stunned. Their emotions were complicated to the extreme. He couldn't afford to be careless. Leaving one person behind to keep watch would allow him to deal with any unforeseen circumstances. Before long, Mo Qingyun arrived at Qian Yuehong's residence, with Qian Yuezi leading the way. Because there were many eyes and ears watching her residence at all times, it was relatively safe here. "Mr. Mo, Miss Ling Long, please have a seat." Qian Yuezi greeted them when they arrived at Qian Yuehong's residence and sat down with him. After the few of them sat down, Qian Yuezi didn't waste any more time and started to explain the situation in Qian Yu Mansion. The true cause of this matter started 10 years ago. Ever since the divine ancestor fell and the sacred lady left with serious injuries, the Dark Demon clan suppressed all the branches. Our Qian Yu branch wasn't spared and became one of the suppressed branches. Initially, it wasn't easy for the Dark Demon clan to control our branch. Who knew that Wu Ziheng would betray us? Wu Ziheng ambushed my father and caused him to be seriously injured. He opened the protective array and allowed the Dark Demon clan to succeed. Later, with the help of the Dark Demon clan, Wu Ziheng's cultivation base broke through to the Mastery Saint realm. Since then, Qian Yu Mansion has been under his control. Qian Yuezi's face was filled with guilt when she said this. She blamed herself for this. This was because Wu Ziheng was her husband. She was the one who lured Wu Ziheng here. I see. After listening to Qian Yuezi's explanation, Mo Qingyun and Qian Linglong nodded their heads. After understanding the situation in Qian Yu Mansion, Mo Qingyun pursed his lips and said, "When I entered Qian Yu Mansion, I sensed two Mastery Saint realm auras. One of them was weak and unstable. Could it be the old master of Qian Yu Mansion?" "That's right. It was my father." Qian Yuezi nodded her head, confirming Mo Qingyun's guess. After the doubt in Mo Qingyun's heart was cleared, he was puzzled again. He asked, "Logically speaking, with your father's strength, keeping him alive would be a hidden danger. With Wu Ziheng's personality, you shouldn't have done this. Why do you keep your father alive?" "Mr. Mo, there's something you don't know. There's a secret behind this." Qian Yuezi immediately explained to Mo Qingyun. Then, she began to explain to Mo Qingyun. "With Wu Ziheng's ruthlessness, it's natural that he wouldn't keep us alive. The reason he did this is because we have something that could be used against him." Mo Qingyun's expression changed. A curious expression appeared on his face. He wanted to know what it was. Qian Yuezi paused for a moment before she took out a blood-red scroll and said, "This is a blood oath life scroll that Wu Ziheng made when he married into Qian Yu Mansion. It contains the oath he made. If we activate the blood oath life scroll, he'll be punished according to the blood oath life scroll." "I see.